What do you think? What do you guys think before we all kick off and go our separate ways? What do you think?
Well, clearly I'm going to win.
I mean, I have all faith in Carlo coming up with a low faith list that works.
So I like the look of this Reload Faithful list better than the last one, which was it 3 or 4 units of Reload Faith?
It was 3 before, yeah.
3, yeah. Which commander have you brought?
So it's so this is Axel Florent.
Yeah.
So he's going to give Relore to another unit when he influences them. So hopefully still be able to use that like faith on death mechanic in with somebody else. But it's just a bit more balanced. It's not diving so heavily into the Relore faithful here. Got a few more utility units.
So do you want to quickly blast through what you've got?
Yeah. So I'm running a pair of Relore faithful. And each of them run a Bolt and Flare. I think that's just a really nice combo. When you put that in with Melisandre, you're looking at a reasonably reliable way to give them a bit of sustain to back up the fact that they're hyper aggressive. So they become a very dangerous unit offensively and defensively there. So I think that's a good investment with that Bolt and Flare, and seems to be something.
Is the Flare 1 point?
He costs 1 point. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah.
I've seen a couple of different variants. You've got like, I think with all of the, when you're attacked, another unit may make a charge or attack action that you get in both this list and the Baratheon tactics cards in general. I think an archer unit is really quite essential in the Baratheons because you won't always be able to utilize a counter charge. Yeah. Whereas there are times when getting off a normal attack from a ranged unit will be good. So, so unfortunately, the only option for that is these Stormcrow archers, who I don't think fit perfectly, but they're the only option that really the Baratheons have at the moment. So they come with their almost mandatory Stormcrow lieutenant. Once you've filled that out and you've got some men to use, you've basically only really got 10 points left to play with. I've gone for a bit of utility in that I've got 1 unit of Wardens and 1 unit of Cutthroats. The Cutthroats are the aggressive side of things, obviously, and the Wardens are the defensive side of things. You could run 2 of either, and I see the value in 2 of each of them. I'm still undecided as to which one has more value, so I'm gonna try them both out and see where I land on which one I find just more useful in the game term. I'd go for Wardens every day of the week, except for that movement 4. It can be quite a big hindrance at times when the whole rest of the army is movement 5. But that's the list. That's its kind of mentality. And I'm basically going to look to be aggressive with Melisandre, put on some pressure, while also then saying, if you kill me, I'm going to make big counterattacks, big plays, and you basically have to be pretty scared of charging me, but you can't sit back because of Melisandre.
Okay, and then you've got Axel and Shira on top.
Yeah, I mean, at 3 points, Shara is just a good buy, and Axel. I think Axel's the right commander to make this work. I haven't tried too many yet, but Axel's my go-to at the moment.
Cool. So for the Night's Watch side, I've got so there's only 1 attachment in the whole list. So trying something out. After last game, I played similar style list to this. So I had a couple of like points that just seemed a bit wasted in attachments. So I'm trying to maximize what I've got. I'm not sure ditching a point of attachments and losing Spawn Bros for another Ranger Hunters is good. Don't get us wrong, I know the Ranger Hunters are fantastic models and they do a lot of damage. I think they really shine when they've got Alistair in them though, and I feel like Swarm Bros are really good just no matter what day of the week it is. So we'll see what it's like. It's something we had spoke about in the chat, and we'll just play it and see what it's like. So just naked conscripts, Ranger Hunters with Alistair. Oh, sorry, Alistair.
It is Alistair, yeah.
Big Al. And just a plain unit of Hunters, plain unit of Swarm Bros, plain unit of Trackers, and I've got a Cresta, the Ally of Convenience. So it's like a pseudo, not quite as good version of Mist Aemon and the Bone Marsh, because everybody knows the Night's Watch look. So yes, that is the list. Carlo, should we roll off for some terrain, mate? Sorry, for first.
So yeah,
That's it.
we've got Pork Chop Express and Terra Shard in the chat.
Oh, Terra's back. Yeah, excellent. So we both rolled a 6. So roll again. 6 again. So let's press R instead of rolling the dice.
Okay. Yep.
That's
6
6.
again.
The double
6
6
again. 4.
6-4.
Right, okay. That's 3 6s in a row. That's my only 2 Night Watch. Yes, Space Monkey. It isn't. Come on, man, Dan. It's like I'm just sick of playing 3 NCU lists and finding that every other turn I get a waste of an activation.
The most contentious phrase said on this stream so far.
What?
I'm sick of having 3 NCUs. Now, what do you think about that, Mickey and Carlo?
Well, it's just playstyle. If you look at different parts of the world, 2 NCUs are the standard. You know what I mean? It's not just because it's our meta, and this is something that was spoken about in a podcast before. One of the good things about metas is you learn from other metas. Yes, it's seen good look in and good progress in our, the Western style of tournament, but there's 2 NCU lists over in Asia smashing people to bits. So let's just try it and see what happens. I mean, this is all theory building for me, theory crafting for me, anyways. I might one day swap this out for we've got 3 more heroes coming out with Heroes 2, so I might get another NCU commander with that. But we'll see. We've just got to see, haven't we?
So I think there's a really important thing here from a statistics point of view. Me and Carlo have been looking at some stats today,
Mhm.
Do you
and
want to throw down the first objective then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We,
let's not go into too much
Detail. Yeah, we will.
So you guys can speak about that
Afterwards. We will.
post game commencing. Yeah.
So
Is it short range deployment?
It's short range.
Oh, sorry. So can I move that then? I thought I was long.
Yeah.
How far away from the deployment of the Gobby? Is this a line for objectives?
so yeah, it's interesting, Terra.
Yes, I guess it was, but I
Is-
just got rid of it. So.
Yeah, once you
Does it
go
have to
third,
be
it's hard to
12
go
or
back.
18?
And yeah, Pork Chop.
It needs to be 6 inches away from a deployment zone.
Yeah.
So it needs
Um,
yes, it needs to be 12. Okay. Yeah.
Running 2 NCUs. For the extra combat units, so you prefer on the board presence to
So I'm
to off like
drinking
off the
something
board
from
tactic
Buckhorn
stuff.
Brewery, a stateside IPA. Very nice.
It's interesting.
Very nice. 5.5%. Crafted in small batches using Cascade, Admiral, Summit, Citra, Nelson Sylvan, and Hallertau Blanc. Is that yours down yet?
Yeah.
Guess I'm going to put this one. Carlo.
Game mode is Clash of Kings, Dan. Yeah, Clash of Kings? No, it's Game of Thrones. Sorry, Game of Thrones. What am I talking about?
Not what you thought.
So I'll do a quick flyby of the lists again. We've got Wardens
Okay.
with nothing, R'hllor Faithful and R'hllor Faithful both with Bolt
We're playing
Flayers.
Game of Thrones, Space Monkey.
So
That's done, isn't? Is that done?
Stormcrow
Yes,
Archers
yeah.
with Stormcrow Lieutenant
The
and
centre
Bolton
one will
Cutthroats.
be worth 2 VPs, the others will be worth these. Roll off again for terrain.
Terrain.
And just while they're sorting out that, we've got the Night's Watch side. We've got Ranger Trackers with Swarm Bros, Ranger Hunters with Alisa, and Conscripts.
Daryl's asking, what am I missing about these Stormcrow archers? You guys seem to love them, and he thinks they stink. What do you think?
They stink.
Yeah,
They stink, but they're the only ranged unit that Baratheons can buy.
Yeah, so think about the faction that they're in, mate. Yeah, they're not as good as, say, longbows or starkbowmen or crossbowmen, but those other factions all have access to them innately, and Baratheons doesn't have a ranged unit. So it's that one out, really. You want me to fail these, so I'm not going to put these down. I may, however, put... No, I don't want to be doing that as well, because I'll be buffing you. Palisades block line of sight, right?
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, so the Ranger Hunters are
Have you
fairly
managed to
scary.
get any Ranger Hunters, Space Monkey, aka Dan? I've just managed to get a box, obviously, with this new crazy restock that's come in. Definitely not because Daryl absolutely rinsed me with them the other week.
That's what I said to Scott. I went the best way to make somebody buy some models is to absolutely murder them with them. That's the fact of the matter, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
Take away with that.
Ooh, I might have to put a no.
So you got terrain going down. I know a lot of people saying Weirwood versus Corpse Pile spam. It's everything you see every game. We got a bit of the Weirwood Corpse Pile action, but got stakes and palisades.
Yeah, I mean the difference between this kind of inexperience just spamming one of the terrain is Daryl is one of the more experienced players, and he just fits with the aesthetic of picking course piles every game. It's got nothing to do with whether or not he feels like they benefit him to the game.
Yeah, it's because
like
my surname's Ramsey. Yeah, no, no. So if you look at the lists that I primarily played up until Visions and the Flames came out, I played panic lists because I found them fun. So these were a tool for my lists. That's what done, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we
So
lock
if
it in?
people are wondering, I mean, I put down a weird. I did counter to what anybody could possibly think was the right thing to do, which is I put down a Weirwood and I put down a Corpse Pile. What I'm actually trying to achieve here is because I do that because I am a faith-based list. I need to pass my tests to generate my faith tokens. But I'm also a panic-based damage list, so I need to put pressure on Daryl to fail his tests. A single Weirwood and a single Corpse Pile on opposite sides of the board create the situation that I want, which is he wants to fight in amongst the Weirwood tree area. Everybody wants to fight in amongst the Weirwood tree area. Nobody wants to stand next to the Corpse Pile. This means that A, we contract the battlefield into this small area, which is what I want, because he has much better maneuverability than me with his cavalry versus my movement 4 wardens. And it means that if he sets up on this side of the board, it's quite dangerous for him because I will just Melisandre bomb him because of this Corpse Pile. So he will be confined to a battle that will take place in here. And that's exactly what I want. So I'm creating areas of the battlefield that both people want to be in and areas that neither person wants to be in.
Yes.
Really
I'm not just spamming it. What I'm trying to do is create zones. And even when I play 2 Weirwood versus 2 Corpse Pile matches, I still try and create zones where both people want to be and the area where neither person wants to be.
Okay, should we flip objective cards and then lock terrain in? So we've obviously got the additional victory point, but panic test in the middle. Here we have target 1 enemy attachment, loses all abilities. Over this side we have score points on subjective 1, friendly unit may make a free maneuver or retreat. This one's enemy NCU loses all abilities, and this one is gains Sundering and Vicious, but suffers D3 afterwards. Okay, should we roll for sides in turn order? Should we lock in terrain because that's the end, isn't it?
Yep.
So I think, personally, like this is really strong. And this is pretty good, but against these lists, that's probably unlikely to be as important.
Yeah.
So I think that this is the key objective in this game.
That's the kind of discussion that stays until we leave the chat.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So one thing I wanted to say about that, Carlo, you know, you're saying that you set up an area where I'll let you read out the points to who won that.
Night's Watch
Daryl
got 2.
Yeah, so I'm going to take this side, Carlo.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to take your side.
Yeah, go on. What were you asking, Scott?
So that was what I was going to say. You've set up a certain area, but you've set it before you know which side you're going to be on. So you just
Okay,
generally.
so that's why I'm talking about a left-right of the battlefield more than I'm talking about one side being stronger than the other.
Got you. Okay.
So I'm trying to generate we will fight in the middle,
Yeah.
we
So
fight.
this is central.
From my current perspective, we will fight on the left-hand side of the battlefield, and nobody really wants to be on the right-hand side of the battlefield because all there is stakes and a corpse pile.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to confine the battle to half the board rather than the full board, because then I don't get outmaneuvered as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is
So
see
I'm
this
trying
is
to
something that.
mitigate. Trying to mitigate the fact that my list is less maneuverable than his.
Mhm.
Carlo,
So this
Carlo, you need to change colours, mate.
Yeah. Sorry.
this kind of lends credence to the whole topic that was in the Energy League Discord, where everyone's like, "Oh, well, we'd rather have random terrain for specific reason." But this talk in general is one of the reasons why you really should be playing player-based terrain, because this adds such a massive new element to the game that you probably haven't seen until you've seen good players do it.
We've got 14 viewers at the minute,
We haven't
Cool.
played.
which is pretty cool. So I just want to take a little second to just catch up with where we are. So we've decided on sides. We've decided on everything's down, terrain's down. We've got our lists ready. So we just need rid of this minute.
I'm gonna get the game mode out so we can. You can just refer to it if anyone asks.
All right, okay. Can we not do it here though? Because this is where dice go.
Do you need to do
In
it
the way,
right now?
mate. Yeah, just over here, mate.
All right, that's fine.
Because we're trying to sort out the game. So who's going first?
We deploy and then I'll
Then
pick.
you decide who
and then
goes
I
first. Okay.
So you deploy
Okay.
first unit because you pick side.
Right. So my first unit is going to be, of course, conscripts, and the conscripts are going to go just over here.
Shall we hop over into the Discord now?
Yeah, please.
or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So actually, we'll explain just before we do. So we're trialing. I know we only trialed a new sort of style of commentary the other day, but this is kind of like a furthering of that trial commentary. So instead of having the full discussion between the players and the commentators, you're not going to hear players at all. We're going to have our own private chat. The two commentators are going to both take spectator positions, so neither of them are going to be able to see hands. And they're going to be talking about how they think the game's going and what they think's happening on the table without that sort of, the God mode knowledge of knowing what's in people's hands, and being able to hear what we think and say. Just to help, I think it primarily is going to help a lot of newer players with things like decision making and rationale. So hopefully that works out well and you enjoy it. If you do, that's great. Let me know. If not, let me know, and then we can think about changing it. So me and Carlo are going to go over into the other chat now and leave you with Mickey and Scott, who are going to commentate.
Yeah.
See you soon. Oh, just before we do, big shout out to so Mickey, if you have a little zoom in over here.
Yep.
On the Chase from on the table. So we've used his list builder on Song of Ice and Fire Builder and imported the list directly from there. So it brings your lists with the attachments and your cards and your unit cards and tactics cards and everything straight over for you. It's absolutely fantastic. So thanks for that, Chase. Appreciate it. All right, we'll see you later.
In a bit.
So Mickey, what do you think so far? This will be Daryl's second ever game using Night's Watch.
Yeah. We'll obviously see how they deploy. I think the deployment really matters here. I think if I was Daryl, I would force the battlefield to occur on, as it is on the stream right now, on the left. So by the corpse pile. That has its own set of issues because you're giving away a couple of easy victory points on the right hand side. So, but actually, there's nothing wrong with that. I think in this case, I think if you're careful, you can stick perhaps a unit of the Ranger trackers, Ranger hunters, over on this right hand side flank. You're not looking to be aggressive on that flank, but if you can pepper the enemy, if you can control this flank well, you don't care if they advance through the weirwood too much. Personally, I would have deployed the conscripts on that side as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting play by Daryl there, because you'd think this, like you said, as Carlo was saying before, he wants the battle to occur next to his rear. Now, if Daryl just says, "I don't want that happening in the slightest," Carlo's gonna have to do something to adapt to that. But it seems strange that he didn't leave the conscripts next to the melee attacks against Sundering and Vicious.
Yeah, so this particular
Because
objective. Yeah.
yeah, so he could just kind of sit there. He doesn't really have to move the unit at any point because why would he? He knows that Carlo wants to get that side of the field, and he knows that's going to be the better place to fight. So why even bother engaging him? Why not swing around the side, like you say, and go towards the corpse piles and the stakes and make Carlo fight where he's not as comfortable?
Especially given, you know, the nature of having Aemon in your list. You know, he hasn't got Aemon, he's got Craster Bowen, isn't he? Yeah. But even having like the conscripts, the natural regeneration that they have makes it this particular objective, the negative downside of it isn't as bad as it would be on another unit. If it was, you know, unit vets, yeah, Sundering Vicious is fantastic, but then you lose some of your units and then you're really sad. So having the conscripts there to regen, yeah. So just reading Dan's comment there, Carlo played him by telling him that the battle would be played on one side. Yes.
Yes.
He said the battle would happen over here. So Dan's got So Daryl's gone. Yeah, okay, the battle's going to happen over here. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other side, this is Carlo was speaking of. He plays Lannisters for a reason.
Yeah. I love Terra's comment there. Lose units equals sadness. Yes, it does, Terra. Losing units does equal sadness.
Especially as Night's Watch, and especially as Targaryens. I mean, how much are the real or faithful? Are they 7 points?
7 points, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, 7 points. Yeah, I mean that's still a hefty investment, but it's not too bad if you lost it.
Yeah.
But it's no 9 point or 10 point unit. I'll tell you that.
No, God no.
So let's have a look at the setup so far. So what's been deployed? We've got the trackers far left of the field from your side. Obviously, that's to try and maneuver around and get around the crazy bad stuff that's happening on that side of the field.
Yes, I mean, really interesting here. You know, are you going to see the trackers come up to this side and actually use the corpse pile as a way of generating some decent panic checks on this unit of wardens? Which, I mean, this unit of wardens here, I assume is just going to walk straight forward and hold this objective and turn off an attachment, which is a good point. I mean, you know, we've got turn off an attachment right here. This means Alistair's not going to do anything. Alistair will have no effect on this game, probably because these wardens are going to hold this objective for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's rip Alistair, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, you've got the objective straight away, the NCU objective, right in front of Night's Watch. It would make sense for him to sit on this, probably with, you know, again, the conscripts units in this case, or maybe he's the Ranger Hunters if he wants to. And then you're probably looking at goodbye Melisandre.
Yeah, I mean that's a massive point cost to turn off as well, isn't it? Is she 5 points or is she
5
4
point
points?
NCU, yeah, 5 point NCU.
Yeah, that is a pretty big nullification there. But it does beg the question: is why did Daryl play the conscripts so far over there?
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out as we go through it.
Maybe.
And then he's got.
Yeah. Maybe he deployed the conscripts there because it's a throwaway unit that he doesn't have to commit with. Deploying that unit first is not a big deal.
It's the only unit I can see in the field where I feel like he hasn't put them down for a reason really.
Yeah.
But let's see so what was Carlo deployed on his side?
So Carlo's gone for. I'll turn the camera around a little bit so we can see. Carlo's gone for the Colt Throats in the corner. Cutthroats, not Colt Throats. Then you've got the R'hllor Faithful again with Bolt and Flayer. Then you've got the Stormcrow Archers with the Stormcrow Lieutenant. But R'hllor Faithful with the Bolt and Flayer again, and then the Wardens, as we said, bringing up the line. So what I see here, I mean, straight away, just to give you an overview of the map from above, you can quite clearly see this right-hand side over here is virtually empty in terms of objectives, as is similar over on this left side. What I think I can see is Carlo running a refused flank type attack. So the Wardens will sit over here, and then he'll actually draw his battle line across like so. So that on the diagonal almost. Now it probably won't work exactly like that because obviously units will move around and things like that. But Dan makes a good point there. The most of the Night's Watch units being moved 5 and 6 makes them much more maneuverable.
Yeah. So Carlo just did a Mel bomb against one of Daryl's units. He's used 3 of his Stormcrows, and Daryl has made a very poor panic check.
Is that a 3?
3.
That's a 2 by my
So
checks. It's a
It's gonna
3.
be a 2, yes. Plus the 3s added from Melisandre.
Yeah, so that's
So yeah, it's
6.
gonna be
6 dead. Half a
6.
unit.
And that's activation 1.
And that
So
was
if anyone's
Hunters, right?
wondering, that's one of his most expensive units. So if anyone's wondering if Melisandre is the new Cersei, I think that's a good indication.
Yeah. We rolling craps is no good. Yeah. Like this is a big contentious point. The Bow and Marsh picking up and Bunny Bags is the obvious counterplay right there. Bring them back up. I don't know whether he needs to do it now, but I think doing it now to prevent Carlo taking the money bag straight away and rehealing this unit makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like Melisandre. I think Melisandre is the really strong NCU right now.
I think she was a pivotal point for Stannis based Baratheon list anyway, because it's the same feeling that all Targ players are going through, myself included, where you don't really have a faction identity aside from like your units can move this distance or they are this color or whatever. She seemed like a very big add to the faction in general, and it was a very scary thing. I think every faction needs that scary unit that goes, oh crap, this could actually ruin my entire game plan. And I mean, that was 6 models on the first activation. If she does that 6 times,
yeah,
that's a lot.
It is, and I mean, the big thing here is I look at Melisandre as a 5-point NCU, and I think that Melisandre is a 5-point NCU. You know, I think she is worth the 5 points, in the same way that I think Walder is worth 5 points in some lists in some scenarios. There are other NCUs who, for 5 points, I think don't get me wrong, they're good. But I don't know whether they're 5 points good. So, I mean, Varys was the classic. Varys at the old 5-point cost after the changes was not good. Walder should be in every list, says Terra. I play Free Folk Terra, and I like to play Giants, even though I don't think Giants are amazing. So you're wrong. Walder should be in no lists, ever. In fact,
so what's currently happening? I'm just trying to check on the game state. So we've got, is that Shira Errol has just played on the Crowns, or did she move? Oh no, Daryl's lost.
She played Shira on the Crowns to do a -1 panic check on the conscripts over here, which again makes sense. The conscripts obviously being a very low morale unit. What morale are they? Just remind ourselves, 8. So it just takes a couple of conscripts off, thins them out a little bit. But I mean, what we're going to see here, though, is controlling money bags. 3 of them are going to come back straight away because of the activation of reinforcements. Now, this is just a free maneuver he's doing with them right now. So it's not regen right now, but it is going to happen in the towards the end of the turn. I mean, this is Carlo the option to play Axel on swords to kind of like buy some time if he wants to, but I actually think that he doesn't need to. We've hit a bizarre position in the game state. The Baratheon player and Carlo, I think he can just advance, and he can, more importantly, I think he can do a march action with his Stormcrows, get them as far forward as he can, knowing that the Night's Watch player can't engage. It's unlikely to engage this turn. And then he can just sit there saying, look, I've got swords. What are you going to do? You can't advance. You want to advance. You can't. So I think that's it's a good position for the Baratheon player to be in.
Yeah, I mean, deployment-wise, we've just seen Daryl take a free activation to maneuver his conscripts, so now he's moved them towards that objective, which makes me think, well, why did he even bother, wasting what could have been a maneuver on maybe the trackers to push them further to the board and put a bit of pressure on there?
I think putting the horses further up as well.
Yeah.
The hunters on this side, or trackers, sorry, not hunters. The trackers
Yeah.
need to be further up the board because we've already
Mhm.
established that this Baratheon Warden unit is going to sit there scoring points for most of the game. I think
So
you want
this
to
leads,
be, yeah,
yeah, so this leads credence to the fact that I think that Daryl's misjudged his deployment. I think is he doing the same thing that I made a mistake of doing, where you kind of want to fully cover an objective, but you've deployed slightly off center, so now you can't pivot towards it.
yes. I mean, there's a big tip here for anyone who plays in the scenarios with the 12-inch deployment, and the terrain is in the objectives are in the middle. So Clash of Kings is a classic here. Your 6 movement point units can fully cover the objective if they line up with one of the third ranks, so second or third rank. If they line up with that rank and they move their full 12 inches forward, they'll cover half of the objective by default, de facto, and they can then pivot to gain the remaining size that they need to fully cover the objective. So you can cover the objective in turn 1. Now, in Game of Thrones, you don't need to do that. You don't need to cover it fully in turn 1 because you don't score it on turn 1. But
However, if you're controlling the objective, right?
yes, that's the thing. The control matters, and in the case of turning off attachments, turning off NCUs, the control does matter. So you want to get that control. You want to ensure that you can get the control on turn 1 to make sure that that doesn't happen. So yeah, going back to it, I think the conscripts is not a good move and deployment there.
And the same for these Swarm Bros as well. Like if he could have covered them this turn,
Yeah.
covered that objective and turned off Melisandre this turn, that would have been huge. That would have stopped another possible 6 models going.
So the NCU one is the one in the middle. I can't remember which this one is.
Is it the NCU one? Okay, yeah, that's what it is.
NCU one's there.
Oh, sorry, that's the they take wounds, isn't it? After they've
Yeah,
made
this
an
is
idiot.
this is the gory melee attack. So we've not been commenting on the game too much, but there's really not much going on at the moment. What we see is shuffling at the back here from Baratheons. I can see. I mean, Carlo's definitely got a plan here. He's pulling the Stormcrows over onto this objective, so he's looking to push with the R'hllor Faithful down the middle, and I can see him bringing up the Stormcrows in like a reserve position. And this makes a lot of sense because these cavalry, if they're going to harass the wardens, the archers act as a deterrent to the cavalry. They control the objective and can actually provide some form of threat back, so the wardens can stand there getting peppered. They are wardens after all. 3+ armor save. So yeah.
So it looks like Daryl's trying to cover this objective with the NCU. With the NCU turn off. Now, is he going to be able to do that?
He's not done it. He's not. He's chosen. By the looks of it, he's chosen not to do it.
I'd imagine because he's taking a free maneuver with the conscript, so I'm guessing he's trying to push up the hunters a little bit further.
He doesn't have the maneuver.
He won't have the maneuver. So it seems, you see, this is again, if you'd placed his conscripts to sit right at that point, you could have done something similar by taking the maneuver zone with whoever you used, and then using the Ranger Hunters march or Ranger Hunters to maneuver past it. It'd be in a situation where the conscripts are controlling that unit, turning off Melisandre and pushing up the hunters.
Yeah.
So let's see what he's planning on doing.
So it looks like he's not. So he's going to pivot on top. He's going to pivot on top, and I think it's definitely true. He's going to get the full pivot, obviously. He's definitely got the movement. So he does turn off a NCU, and it'd be interesting to see which one they turn off. It's going to be hard to tell.
I'd be very surprised if it's not Melisandre.
I lost them. This is of course the difficult thing. You can't tell who they've turned off.
So let's see who's going to flip over, and it's going to be.
It's Melisandre.
It's Melisandre. Okay. Oh, he's tapping it. Okay, magic.
Magic tap. Yeah, good idea. So yeah, the Melisandre's off the field now, and I don't see that changing.
No.
I mean,
but he's going to have to do something with the hunters though, because the hunters are going to be not useless, but they're going to be less efficient sitting back and babysitting an objective when he really has the perfect unit to do that with the conscripts.
So yeah, we've hit a weird position here again. The conscripts, if they want to take control of the objective, they're going to have to the hunters are going to have to move off, right? And if the hunters move off, there is a window for Melisandre to activate. And this actually is where the Night's Watch 2 NCU really comes to bite him in the butt, because he can't play 3 NCUs of his own and force the Baratheons to effectively only play 2. So regardless of what happens, Melisandre will probably get to activate next turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is really, like, that in some ways that's a misplay, because that, as you say, that could be another 7, 6 or 7 models dead.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Terra makes a very good point here. You cannot leave an 8-point unit sitting on objective. Evening, the Rel Duggars, is that right? The Herald? The Reld Duggars? No, what? The real Duggars, of course, I can't read, Jesus. God, it's scary that I teach people, isn't it? Yeah, so right, so end of turn 1. So that was quick turn 1. And we see this kind of board state. Nothing really hugely happened, aside from the only thing we've been talking about. This deployment, the misdeployment here with the conscripts and the trackers. Now, let's do a quick rundown of the list again. I know we've had a couple of new people in chat. We've got Hellspawn Cutthroats for the Baratheon. We've got Bolton Flayer inside R'hllor Faithful, and another Bolton Flayer inside R'hllor Faithful. We've got Stormcrow Archers with a Stormcrow Lieutenant, becoming a fairly staple of a lot of lists. And Baratheon Wardens, just vanilla over on this flank. Over here you've got the Ranger Hunters, completely no attachments. Swarm Brothers, nothing. Ranger Hunters with Alissa, the Commander version. We've got Conscripts, and we've got the Ranger Trackers on the flank. Yeah, I think the big story at the moment, at the end of turn 1, is the misdeployment here. So the Conscripts can't control this objective. This objective is the turning off NCU. The NCU, obviously, Melisandre in this game is a big important one, but Baratheon's also running Axel, Commander, and Shirel. On the NCUs for Night's Watch, you've got Craster and Bowen. So, what do you think, Scott? Turn 2, you've just seen Bowen take letters. That's a classic play, isn't it?
Yeah, a classic Night's Watch play of getting all of his cards on his hand as soon as possible.
It's turn 2 and he's got 5 cards.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the first tax card that's going to be played is. And imagine it'll be one of the kind of one of the kind of general Night's Watch ones, maybe Watcher on the Wall or something, which is going to get him an extra movement or extra card somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna depend on because I'm not sure what Axel Florence cards do, particularly for the list that Carlo's running. But it'll be interesting to see what the first major tactics card played will be.
So Axel Florence cards, I will quickly get up on the A Song of Ice and Fire Builder.com, obviously built by Chase's On the Table guys. So definitely go check them out. But all the cards are on there. So Axel's got R'hllor's Wrath, which gives +2 attack dice and Sundering if it's R'hllor. He's got Fiery Resolve, which is when you pass a morale test, an enemy within short becomes panicked and potentially weakened if R'hllor. And then he's also got Fiery Charge. When you charge, the enemy becomes panicked, and if you're R'hllor, they also become vulnerable. So there's nothing hugely from the Baratheon Axel Florent deck here it's going to be massively important right now. But I do think it's important to note that both of these units right here, the R'hllor Faithful, obviously R'hllor, and Axel Florent, his influence makes a friendly unit R'hllor as well, so I can almost guarantee that we're going to see R'hllor come up on the Bolton Cutthroats. That would make sense. So then you've got 3 R'hllor units there across the front. It also means the R'hllor Faithful Heart of Fire ability can be more usefully used. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
So what's the current? So
we've just had Bowen Shara's just gone onto Moneybags to restore some health to the Stormcrows back here. Makes sense. The Stormcrows can obviously also have the Stormcrow Lieutenant, so they'll hit a bit harder next time as well. If they hit at all this turn, of course. So I think it's Daryl's turn, and I think he's umming and ahhing.
Yeah, I mean, what can he really do at this point? Maybe you can push the Ranger Hunters up a little bit with a maneuver, and then they've got short range, haven't they? So he's looking at a potential possible reaching on the right hand side.
We can see him measuring it there.
Edward.
Yeah, see it measuring there. He's clearly looking for this. Yeah. I very much think that moving this up, I'd have been tempted this turn to put Crasta onto the horses. Now I know that seems a bit of a strange thing, but I think it limits the movement from Baratheon.
Yeah, but well, the Baratheons are trying to mitigate their slow speed generally, aren't they?
Yes. So yeah, I think that's a big one. Oh, Emger, yes, hello Emger. Stannis and not Renly for the 10th time, yeah. So this is a Stannis list. Emger, yeah. The Rose Knights style Renly lists are quite popular. And I won't go into the stats of the tournament that we've got running. I'm working very closely with Carlo, running a load of side stats that aren't quite available on the website yet, that he's not quite built, which hopefully will be built in the next kind of like 5 to 6 weeks. But sneak peek, I've been looking at a lot of the lists and recording literally every unit. So we hope to be able to bring win rates of different units. And let's say there's a lot of Rose Knights. There's quite a few Rose Knights. And yeah, I think Baratheons could be top 3. Again, Terra, I believe that. Rose Knight lists play themselves. Yes, they do. Hello, Skelebot. Hi.
Skelebot is Daryl, I believe.
It is Daryl, is it?
I think so.
I don't know. If it is, well done.
Dual boxing his own stream.
Yeah. That's what he's paying for bots. That's what he's doing.
So that was a pretty strong panic test by
so
Carlo
panic
there.
test rolling the 10 there. Well, I missed that completely. My bad.
Was that from the Ranger trackers making a short range attack?
Yeah, short range attack. Killed 2. I was too busy reading the chat and not answering, looking at dice rolls there. It's my bad.
That's still quite a good. That's a quite good take, really, considering they're 3+ save, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I'd take 2 wardens for a shot. The real question right now is that this is a Baratheon warden unit that's worth 5 point. This is a ranger tracker unit, which, if I remember rightly, is worth 6, 7.
I think. Oh, maybe 6. Yeah, maybe space might get down. I'll know.
Yeah, standard Carlo roll that on that panic check. Yes, it is. Space Monkey and myself obviously have gamed with Carlo a lot. We've known him for many years, and yes, he does roll well on things like panic checks. Okay, so we see Axel Florent. Axel Florent looks like he's. Oh no, is this a? Yeah, this is Axel Florent. He's playing the influence before he's actually activated him. 6 points, cool. Doggers.
So okay.
So if Baratheons are super good in the meta, what beats or counters them? Interesting question. I think I'm a free folk player. I actually believe free folk do counter them. I've played against Rose Knight lists with free folk, and I don't really care if I lose a model every now and then. The Relore lists as well die really, really well to Bone Lord's Chosen. Ooh, double 1, but he only rolled a 1 on the morale check there. So it was a -1 morale check coming out from Axel onto the Ranger trackers, but he only loses 2. So yeah, I think what might beat or counter them. I also think maneuverability. So I think there's announcements there. What else we got? 6 points for the Ranger Hunters. Trackers, sorry. I always get the 2 confused.
Yeah.
Defense is very strong. You have to play fair. Yes, it is. Yeah. Oh, Emger. Rose Knights are so boring. Put them in a unit of Sworn Swords or Guards in front of them. Hope they don't die before I've won. Yes. I don't like the Rose Knight list. I don't like the Rose Knight play style, to be honest. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just think it's it's a very grindy way of playing, and it promotes unit spam as well. And
Yeah, I mean, Carlo is notorious for spamming specifically,
well, poor
let's say,
fellows.
efficient units.
And I've got no we don't talk about Unsullied here, Terra. Yes, we don't, not anymore.
I mean, I'm sitting on like 95 likes on my unit on Facebook, so at least they're getting that, right?
It is a well painted unit. It's a shame that you'll never
Thank
see
you
it hit the
very much.
tabletop and achieve anything. So yeah, hi Ryan. Yeah, you got an alternative host tonight. Mickey standing in for
Yeah,
Daryl while Daryl plays.
yeah, I mean, Dowdy Ryan is one of the kind of original NRG guys, I guess.
Yeah.
He was the guy who bought a Night's Watch faction from Daryl for a ridiculous sum and then immediately gave up on the game, Ryan. Shout out to Ryan. And this is a time where they were going on Amazon for like $9.99. So,
Hey man,
Ideal.
not everything has horrific
Ideal.
visage from Terra. You're right, not everything does have horrific visage. And Blackguards, who are the only other unit in the game that do, are...
they don't exist, as far as I'm aware.
So, you know what, I think they're fine. I think horrific visage is better than a 9-point unit. Yeah, it is. It is if you watch the game we played the other night.
What game that happened the other night, Mickey? What happened in that game?
The game where your Unsullied decided to attack my Bone Lord's Chosen and fail morale check horrifically and lost 6 guys. That one.
Yeah.
Where half an Unsullied unit ran away from some scary guys dressed in bones. Yeah. Selling back. I heard. Hi, Ryan. I had bad nightmares about it. You had bad nightmares. I imagine how Scott must feel.
I furiously painted a unit just to make it feel like the 3 boxes that I bought are totally worth it.
So when are you going to put that Unsullied unit up for sale?
When they cost 65 quid because they're completely out of stock everywhere around the world during a global pandemic. Shout out to profiteering.
So usually I would say painting a unit to your standard would increase the value, but by the time that you want to sell this, when everyone knows what they're like on the field,
Yeah, I know.
I don't think selling a unit that's worth 10 pence is worth it, mate. That's being generous.
That is being generous. At least they look nice. At least they look
do.
nice. Tears can dry. I love that. I love that touch. It's okay. Tears can dry.
They can.
Okay, it looks like I think Carlo's gonna make a charge.
So we've had a lot of things go on there, and it was Cressa take on swords, and it was a ranger shot again. It appeared to do nothing, which is kind of what you'd expect against the Baratheon wardens here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he influenced with the Axel Florent the turn before with the -1, and it looks like he's measuring a lot of things. It looks like he just did an activation to turn. Unless he's activated them now, and that's what he's just doing is contrast for the win. Yeah. Yeah, I could see the Unsullied being dropped to 8 points, Terra. I really could. Or some changes to make them 9.
Yeah.
A bit of lag there. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of measuring. Oh, is this? This is it, guys. This is the. Whoops, I can't interact. This is a crucial point in turn 1. If anyone missed it, the conscripts were deployed here in this area, and they couldn't just move on to the NCU disable spot and control from the game from there, and instead they're now just kind of like standing in no man's land, not controlling anything, while these guys in the hunters are sat controlling an objective and not being aggressive. This was we talked about this a lot, being like a potential misplay here. So you can see he's trying to shuffle over, but again, this activation with the conscripts it achieved nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just feels like he's playing with one less unit right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to see the R'hllor Faithful move up. I'm going to give you guys a different alternative view of the map. Let's get a bit of a zoom in. This lovely fluorescent green base. So we can see R'hllor there. God, it's so garish, aren't they? Jeez, they have to turn away. They're kind of. I like this play from Carlo. He's just kind of putting the unit out in the middle and going, "Go on."
Do you think this is a bait to try and get
I
Daryl
think
to
it
dash
is.
in with his to put himself close enough that Daryl wants to move in with his Ranger Hunters,
Yes. So I
and then
mean,
get the cutthroats coming in the side, which
we can
are
see
a
the measurements
deadly
there.
unit for 5.
I tried painting some Nightwatch, but the only seller I could find wanted my kidney. Lucky you. I had to sell 4 of my unborn children to get a Nightwatch starter, and it still hasn't
Have you
arrived.
got one, Mickey?
What? No.
Have you got a Night? Oh, okay.
I'm still looking to sell a 4th unborn child. No. Yeah, the Night's Watch are. I'll use the technical term. Rocking horse. Insert expletive here. In the UK, I offered the children, turned me down. In the risk of insulting you massively, Terror, get better children. They're worth more, you know. Right. So look, I mean, we saw this movement here. We're seeing debates here. I think he's trying to bait the Swarm Swords, the Swarm Brothers up.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Get them off the objective. I know they're not controlling it anyway, but if they come forward, it will mean the control is better. All right. So Daryl is being aggressive with the Hunters. So right, this is what I thought you'd see from the Hunters. Just a quick reminder. The quick fire from the Hunters, they can move up and then they've got 1 free ranged attack action. So he can move up into range here and then he can just shoot the R'hllor Faithful. Now, we'll see how this goes because whether the Bolton Cutthroats here are going to be making charge actions, we know what the Baratheon deck is like, having these counter charge options.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a little bit of a bait from Carlo to bring the Hunters out, to bring them into a Bolton Cutthroat kind of charge?
It seems very strange that you'd be pulling the Hunters and shifting them up to cover the space between the R'hllor and the Swarm Bros, because you'd think, if anything, he wants to get those Swarm Bros up and in amongst it, really.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what he's planning, because at the moment I can see Carlo doing measurements on his cutthroats as well.
Yeah, so I can very much see that Carlo is looking at this as if some kind of like an option here. So we saw the roll coming up here. Let's actually watch this one. I haven't watched any others. Oof, that's a lot of 6s. And quite a few 5s. Shame about the 2 misses. So what, they hit on 3s, don't they? Yeah, they're really good.
3s, yeah.
So 5 hits onto the R'hllor, which is not too bad.
Yeah, and no card played, so wasn't a counter charge.
Not yet. It's after the attack.
That is a good save. You saved 4 out of 5, and they've got what, a 4+ save?
5 plus. So there's 2 dead there. 2 dead.
2 dead. Okay.
Okay, Emger, Rose Knights at 8 would be way overcosted. They only got 8 dice sitting on 3+ and no other ability as long as you don't attack them. Yes. So this is the problem. Rose Knights aren't overcosted. They are just... They're almost poor levels of oppressive to play against. Alright, so that's a successful morale test. You can see there on the 4+ on them. And they're going to get a faith token, which is really big. I'll just bring the card back up again to remind people. If it is attacked with melee, they do a -1 panic check for each remaining rank in the R'hllor Faithful. So that's a -3 panic check, potentially, if anything engages them.
Mm-hmm.
And the Heart of Fire, when this unit is destroyed, 1 other R'hllor unit within long may make a free attack. That's, again, really strong. So yeah, that's just what's happened there.
And that'll also explain why Carlos placed his other R'hllor unit within very close proximity, if anyone is wondering about deployment or how this unit's supposed to play.
So we can see here that that's going to be just over 9 inches. That's 9 right there. So it's just over 9 inches charge if he wants to make that play. Going back to
4+ charge, will it, if he's going to go for it?
Yeah, it's a 5+ because he's 5 mover. So it's over 9 inches means it's basically 10.
Oh, over 9. Okay.
Over 9, yeah. Veterans of the Watch at 8. Yeah. I mean, it's worth remembering we can't do these all in vacuums. Rose Knights are so strong at 7 because Renly is so good with them. It's really interesting to see everybody. Virtually no one played Renly charismatic, whatever his, I can't remember his full name, charismatic leader or whatever it was. No one played him in the old Baratheon stuff. Or people did, but he wasn't good. And people played Stanislists. And now the new Rose Knights come out. People aren't playing the new Renly with the Rose Knights, but playing the old Renly with the Rose Knights, which I think is really interesting.
So that's a 4 he's managed to roll. Looks like the charge is going in, but he's going to be just off it.
So the question is, can it fit? Yeah, so Dan, can the base fit? We can't actually check easily from our end, but it's a failed charge anyway, because he rolled the 4. He may have been able to fit here, in this kind of gap here, but it was failed, which is not good.
So he's only managed. How many has he lost? Oh, he's going to do
He's doing the panic check now for the failed. Now he's on +1.
That's going to be +1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too bad. So that's 6+.
Yeah, 6+, and that's a pretty comfortable 8 there.
That's a Carlo roll.
Yeah, to be fair, it's only just above average. Average being 7, of course, if anyone doesn't know 2D systems. Yeah, Terra. We all do. We all compare units to each other regardless of list. Because the stat lines in the lists shouldn't be wildly different, I think. Obviously, they have different combos, and the abilities are where the points really kick in. But the stat lines for the various different point costs shouldn't be that different. Okay, so Baratheons will push Stark out of the top spot, and it'll be Free Folk and Baratheon. So I would tend to agree, but again, I could go into the stats and I could go into what I've seen of the lists. Well, all of the data we've got on the lists already. We'll come back to that on Terra. We'll do some stuff, releases on that later on. But I do think it's interesting. One of the good matchups that we've recorded on Song of Ice and Fire stats so far is Baratheons don't do badly against Stark. And with Stark being so popular, it would be very interesting to see how Baratheons fare up. Because maybe Baratheon will push up the table with the popularity of Stark. I can't wait to see win percentage. Yes. I would show you it on stream just very quickly, but I can't reveal too much information just yet. I've coded in half of the lists already, I think. It's taken a while because they're not in the nice formats and things I want them in. But you could be looking at something akin to a lot of good information, including some silly stats. I will be measuring the number of people who take Roos Commander and who don't take Reek. I think the answer is probably going to be 0, but you know, it's fun to look at these things.
It looks like Daryl's moved the Swarm Bros over onto that point.
Yeah, so we talked about this last turn, didn't we? How this was going to be a wasted maneuver, and it is. Like his entire turn there was moving across the Swarm Brothers.
Yeah, so that if for those of you, and this is a mistake I've made hundreds of times, if you are going to try and want to claim a point on a very early turn, it doesn't really make sense to place your units at kind of jank angles. Otherwise, you're gonna run into this situation where you're wasting activations, precious activations, especially when you're talking about 2NCU 5 as a 5 unit list. I mean, yeah, it's okay for the number of units you got, but you're essentially wasting an activation when you don't have to.
So here's the problem we talked about in turn 1 coming to rear its head. The Rangers here are the only unit left unactivated by the Night's Watch player now. Now, the Baratheons are moving the Stormcrows, as we can see, but this unit being unactivated means if it wants to do anything of any note this turn, it has to move off the point. If it needs to move off the point, we're buggered. We're buggered because we lose disabling Melisandre, and then Melisandre drops on horses, and you have a panic bomb on your hands.
Yeah, and it's Carlo's turn next as well, which means Mel's definitely going to go down and definitely going to get something on.
Yeah, so he can just...
So the question is whether Daryl wants to. I mean, he could forego that and just sit on the point for this one, and he's going to get a couple of points. He's got Alistair in 1, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, he's got Alistair on a point, which means he's going to get 2 points for that one and 1 point for the other one that Swan Bros are currently covering. But he could have made a better move and pushed his very kind of offensive unit with Alistair in further up the field and pressured the centre point.
The problem here, of course, Alistair, sorry. Yes, is really useful. Game of Thrones, just remind myself. It's over here, isn't it? You don't get an extra victory point if your commander holds it.
Oh, he doesn't. So yeah,
No.
so it's even less. It's even less reason to sit on that point or deploy in the way Daryl did.
So he's going to go up here and get the 2 victory points, but he's then going to suffer -2 panic check. Sure, the Weirwood, that's only a -1, but then he's also got to take into account that the R'hllor Faithful are just going to charge him.
Yeah.
He can get involved. He only has to kill 4 guys, and if he kills 4
Yeah.
guys, the Ranger trackers lose the objective. They don't control it. So, well, the Ranger Hunters, sorry. So I really don't like this play, as we've established.
And Daryl's currently sitting on how many cards? Eight tactics cards without playing a single one. I'd be surprised if he hasn't got one. He could at least play when a unit activates just to get some tactics and bows down on the field, because that is what makes Night's Watch is having these cards that are unbelievably strong that you can play at pretty much any moment.
Well, effectively permanent buffs.
Yeah, so it seems strange that he's not played any so far, but we'll have to wait and see. And
So,
again, with Terra talking about the Barrows being strong, the Barrows have such kind of scary tactics cards that you don't really want to attack them most of the time. So trying to play defensively against them is the best way, I guess. But with Starks, you obviously want to be in them as quick as possible and say that in the nicest way.
we talked a lot about this last night, me and Carlo, in some prep stuff for the tournament, and we are firmly in the driving seat. So we could see the Ranger. This is a bad move.
Yes.
I don't know what his plan here is. He's come off the objective. He's not taken the second objective, so he's going to score 1 point, and he's reactivated Melisandre. I don't get this play.
Yeah.
Um,
He looks to be. He looks to be going for some sort of attack. He seems to want to get a short range shift.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why he wants to focus down this lower unit, which is just going to give them more faith tokens, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can kill them off, of course. So on going back to what chat was saying about Baratheon going up, Doug, as you saying Baratheon leap up due to the sheer volume of them. Wait till you know the breakdown of who's entered into the tournament that we've got running on TTS. I think you'll see how the stats there play out. And Targ's getting Heroes 1 and maybe another a unit or 2. We've talked a lot about Targs in previous streams. All I'll say, I think the takeaway from us, we've just been spoiled all these NCUs and things the other day. I still think the defining factor of whether Targs become, they're good at the moment, they're okay, but if they become truly competitive or not is down to what the pikemen are, the Unsullied pikemen. So we can see that.
It looks like we just had the attack go off.
Yeah, so 4 hits with this unit here, isn't it? So they shifted in the extra 2 to get another shot here, and it looks like 4 hits onto those guys.
Oh, he's playing a card. What card?
It was the weakened. He expended the weakened token that was on them, and he played counts the effect of that token, the fire that burns against the cold.
But looks like he's rerolled anyway.
I don't think he has. I think he's just doing the 5 hits. Yeah.
Okay, 5 hits.
Or 4. Was it 4 hits? Must have been 4.
4, yeah.
2 dead, 3 dead. There's 5+ save
2
on those
dead,
guys.
yeah.
3 dead. So yeah, going back to chat. Sorry. Yeah. So I mean, you're talking about different factions beating different people. Yeah, it's interesting. Be interesting. Yeah, people hard teching for Baratheons. So it's interesting. I don't think you hard tech for Baratheons that much. I think what you do against Baratheons is you understand how to go up in a game. one of the things the Baratheons really, really suck at is they suck at regaining control, because you can just sit there and go, well, you have to do something now, and all your cards are defensive, all your plays are defensive. So if I just sit here and be on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 victory points, slowly building up, you have to do something. And
it looks like Alistair
yeah.
has done that, but the yes, it
Ruthless
happens.
approach, start of a friendly turn. This is a start of a friendly turn. When did he miss the timing on that?
I think he's missed the timing.
That's fair enough. I'm a bit confused as to when that's come down, because I thought it was.
I mean, that would be clever, but he doesn't actually own the horses, which I imagine what he's trying to play that in a reaction to try and nullify this charge that's going to come up from the law.
I'm guessing so. I don't understand this play, to be honest. So I'll just ask them what the timing on that card was.
Yeah. So it seems he missed it.
Yeah, he did miss it, but he forgot to play it. Right. So as we said, it's a friendly game. I know we're streaming and things like that. It is a friendly game, of course. So he just missed the timing, so he's fine. Stated your intent. That's fine. Yeah, we play a lot of stated intent. So if you move something and it's like 8.9 or 9.1 inches away, if you're like, this is meant to be 9.1, and then as long as you reciprocate that, then it's hard on TTS to get it exact.
Did Carlo just roll a charge and get 4? Oh no, here it goes.
No, so
that was a 6.
He's rolling like a madman. I don't know what he's rolling. 5.
That's going to be a charge, I think. I think he's going for the law.
He's going for the charge, straightforward. Yeah, this is what we expected. Teching for getting grinded by Rose Knights isn't easy. Yes, it isn't. It's not fun. Baratheons can't play from behind at all yet. So hit hard first, do a couple, and then sit back and say, come at me. Yeah, Duggars, definitely. Easier said than done. Agreed. Terror, agreed. Right, so we're starting to get a bit of a melee in the front, and if anyone was here before the stream kind of really kicked off, before we got into the game massively, you'll know that Carlo said that he wanted the battle to take around the Weirwood Tree, the fateful Weirwood Tree, and look at where the battle is happening. This is exactly what Carlo wanted.
He's got Ruthless Approach sitting on the Relours, which is going to be -2 for controlling the swords. Plus, they're going to lose all abilities.
Yeah, so this is not that great. 6 dice,
No.
but that is 6 hits, which is pretty good. They hit on the 3 plus the Relours, so they're pretty good.
So he's not going to nullify this Weirwood. So Daryl is in a quite a good place here. He's still.
He has Shield of the Realms of Men there, so he blocked 1 of the 6, and there's
Got you.
3 more blocks. Block on those guys is 5, right? Yeah, 5.
Yes. On the hunters, yeah.
Yeah, on the hunters, yeah. So he's doing the morale check. So he's lost 2, and he's +1 with the Weirwood. That'll be a passed panic check, 6 plus.
Yeah. That could have been deadly.
Oh, they have Vicious. They have Vicious. So a 6.
They don't have Vicious because it's been turned off by Ruthless Approach.
Oh, it is correct. Oh, sad.
So that was lucky. That was a lucky play on Daryl's part. If he hadn't got that card off, this could have been a lot worse.
Yes. And that's end of the round, of course, but that was pretty much the last thing that happened in this round. Coming from War Machine. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I've never played War Machine. I know War Machine has 2D terrain in a very similar sort of style, but I know, like you're saying there, kind of knowing how each faction plays is one of the biggest parts of the game. Now, I mean, it's very similar in this game. You'll find that the way Lannisters play compared to, say, the Targaryens, you have to kind of understand what other factions want to do as a game plan, because if you don't, you're going to just run into a situation where I ran unsullied against the Rose Knights and got absolutely chewed up, or you could run against, let's say, like a Gregor-led Pyromancer. There's lots of things that can catch you off guard if you don't understand what they're trying to do.
One thing I will say about the game, though, it's teching in the same way is not the same as it is in other games. Because you only have a 2-list format, you're much better off teching to win different scenarios and play the different scenarios, and you can build into that an element of teching against things. I mean, the classic example in my book is if you're worried about coming across giants in a particular game mode, you put a, and you're not running free folk, sorry, you run a list that has the Waller in it as one of an alternative lists. So if you're worried about someone coming up with giants, you can write that. Oh, look at that morale check.
Yeah.
That is a 12.
Looks like Daryl's played Watching on the Wall, which means when a friendly unit is attacked, one other friendly unit may make a free maneuver or march action. It looks like he's pulled back the Ranger Hunters to keep them a little bit out of range of the 2 units that Carlo's got on that flank.
So interestingly, Carlo played Melisandre. Oh. Mad errors. This is what we've just seen, isn't it?
Oh, you just did it.
Yeah,
oh,
cool.
that was that.
Double six, right?
Six.
Roll boxcars, yeah, right. So that was the morale check, yeah. I was a bit confused why that morale check was coming out, but
yeah. Looks like the stream's getting hit at the moment, Mickey. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's because I'm moving around a lot. So I know it's 2 lists. My normal way of building was all corners list, all comers list, then a list that counters what beats my list, all comers list. That kind of works, Duggars, in Song, but not to the same extent because they've got 2 lists that they can run. I've got a loading bug here. Oh well. The scenario plays a bigger part of the game. Yeah, that's from Terra there. Definitely does. The scenario is more important than the lists, really, than your enemy, to be honest. What did they manage to break that's making me get the loading bug, I wonder?
I'm not sure, but it's causing some issues on the stream.
The flip side, free folk are great on almost every scenario. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Free folk are great in everything except Fire and Blood. Free folk suck on Fire and Blood. Those need to be gotten rid of. Alright, no, they're all good. They're loading properly now. Okay, how's the stream doing now? Is it alright?
Yeah, I think it was that download that went through.
Yeah, it must have been. Okay, so
So that's the end of round 2. It looks like Carlo's sitting on 2 points to Daryl's 1 point. And it's Carlo to go first with Melisandre not turned off. So this is going to be a very obvious opening play by Carlo.
yes, so so Melisandre's not turned off. We're going to see the board cleared here. Just quickly, Duggars, yeah, 2 games in and misplayed turn 5 and you got your tabled. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. I misplayed a game against Carlo last night, just off stream, just a casual one, and I was 3-0 down points-wise against a Baratheon list on the first turn, which I shouldn't have been, and yeah, it was just GG pretty much straight after that. I had no way of coming back into the game, and it was a really dumb thing. I didn't read the objective cards that were out. That's what happens if you play at 11 o'clock at night UK time when you're tired.
Is that when you started?
Yes.
Oh,
Be
geez.
about
I
that
did
time.
see you guys jump on and I was like, oh no.
Played a game after that as well, and beat him in. He's a guy who normally plays free folk and played Baratheon, but I beat him in 2 turns. Because
2 turns against Carlo?
No, this is second game against a guy. I beat him.
Oh, TDS.
Yeah.
Right, TDS guy. Got you.
He played Baratheons and then I got the upper hand and killed 2 units on turn 2, and to be honest, the game was over. It was 2-1 in Feast for Crows, which is like pathetically low score, but he was just going to die in the rest of the turn. Like he had no way of saving the rest of his units, barring dice rolls. So he called it. Okay, so we're going into turn 3 now. Let's go back into the game. The just so anyone knows, we've got the NCU turned off objective here. We've got the extra attack modifiers, Sundering Vicious, but getting the D3 wounds. Obviously, it is Game of Thrones, so you got the double point in the middle. This objective is turning off an attachment. And am I right in saying this objective is?
So it looks like, I think it looks like, yes, Carlo hasn't opened with Melisandre. He's opened with.
Was that a
Law
side
attacking.
charge?
That was a
Interesting.
side charge. So it looks like he's gonna not take the Melisandre and go for a very risky opening move against the Hunters, which leaves his entire side flank and rear flank open to the Ranger Hunters and Swarm Brothers.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you think he's got? Has the Baratheons got anything that could possibly make him retreat after this?
no, but I can see him doing a lot of damage here. And
I suppose he doesn't really mind if he dies. He's going to get a second attack off, but that's a big
Well, he's got
gamble for
two
just one
faith
more attack.
tokens. He's got 2 faith tokens. So
Okay, so what is the? Okay, so yeah, it's gonna.
I think there's some subtleties going to go on here. I think we're going to see a good turn. Also, another
okay.
card play here. That was
Yeah,
just
shields around the
shields
men.
again coming out.
Okay, order block 2.
Also block 2. I mean, do we even know how many he hit with yet? I didn't see the roll.
I think it was all. You didn't hit. You didn't.
Oh,
miss
wow.
any, so that'll be 7 dice.
That's quick. He must have been 5. Must have been 5 hits because we blocked 1. There's 5 dead.
That's gonna be That's gonna be
Oh, 4 dead. Yeah. I did not see Carlo roll those dice. Yeah, it looked like 5.
He
Yeah.
grabbed them and pulled them back.
Yeah. So it must have been 5 hits, and then we can see 4
It
block.
must have been 6 dice, right? Because he's.
He blocked 1 with the save. So
Oh,
and then,
that's a good panic check. He's just saved whatever. Oh, yeah.
so you just
lose.
he loses the 4 unsaved. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's lucky. I mean, that could have been very risky.
Right. So here we can see Carlo is grabbing a card around and flinging it around, and he's not sure what he wants to do with it. If he puts it still for a moment, Stag's Resilience. Okay. So he was tempted to play it and then didn't. Interesting. We know he's got Stag Resilience though, guys. Boom.
Does that what happened? He played Stag's Resilience.
He didn't play Stag Resilience actually. He
He
wanted
didn't
to,
play it, okay.
and then he thingied. Yeah, he blocked 2 hits, Terry. Yeah, 1 for the money bags, and 1 with the save, or both with money bags. Can't remember.
So, I mean, I guess the only real move Daryl should play at this point is get those conscripts onto that point as soon as possible. That should be the next play.
Right. So we're still on this end up play here. So after an enemy completes an action, that enemy becomes panic and vulnerable. So this unit panic and vulnerable now. That's really good. If it's also within short range of Alistair, it goes back in the deck, or back on top, isn't it? Is this super bait, Duggars?
This is super. I mean, Carlo is known for playing these kind of mind games.
I think if this is super bait, he's got something up his sleeve. The reason I say that is he wants the Swarm Brothers to come off the point. But if the Swarm Brothers come off the point, they might be able to retreat back onto the point if they overrun.
Oh, it looks like we've got a Bowen on horses. I'm going to assume that's going to be a retreat for the Ranger Hunters and pull them back onto that point.
Oh, that's a good roll. He's going to go straight back, isn't he? And they will fit.
And that's going to turn off. That's going to turn off Melisandre as well. Here's the thing, though. He can retreat and now make a free range attack, can't he? With his order, which means he's going to get a side shot off against those law.
Unless he chooses not to. He's backing off a long way there.
I don't want to. I'm not going to. I'm not going to intrude on the game.
You shouldn't.
I shouldn't. I feel like Daryl's forgotten that is a rule.
We'll see. I don't think Daryl has. I think he's just seeing where he can get to, maybe, and seeing how he plays from there.
I guess. Because he can move 6. Is he still in range? I can't measure.
I can't measure either, unfortunately.
So if he's still in range, he could have made that attack. Okay, well, let's see what happens next then. So for the stream, what we've just seen is the Ranger Hunters have an ability on their card that lets them retreat and make a free range attack. Now with the angle that Daryl retreated at, he would have got a shot off if he hadn't moved as far back as he did. But on the other side, maybe he had to move that far back to cover that point to turn off Melisandre, who will potentially ruin that unit.
This is actually really interesting. So the problem is the Swarm Brothers and the Ranger Hunters on the left flank here. These units couldn't engage this. They could have killed this R'hllor unit, but with the 2 faith tokens, it means that this R'hllor unit really just sinks into this for free. It's a free attack.
Yeah.
So to some extent, Douglas, you were right. You either try and take this unit out, but actually it might end up killing your own unit in the process anyway. What we are seeing, though, in some ways, I think this was clever by Carlo, very clever. But I also think it's... I'm going to say it. There's been a theme with this game. This is because the conscripts don't control the Melisandre objective, or the turn-off NCU objective.
So do you feel like Carlo's just playing a game where he wants to scare the units back so he can control the board rather than trying to engage?
Yes.
It's like, as Terrashard was saying, or maybe it was the real Duggars, once the Baratheons are behind, it's very hard to catch up. So in this point, Carlo's taking a very strong lead in a very strong position on the board. Is that his whole idea? He played a very risky move to make Daryl move back, and now Daryl has to try to come back. Hey, it's working. You're right. It is.
It is working.
It is currently working. But if any of all the factions in the game that could possibly come back and just swing one attack and change the entire game, I mean, Night's Watch are going to be up there, aren't they? If those Swarm Brothers get in with a couple of card combos, this could swing it very heavily in Daryl's favor, or at least put the board in his favor.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of turn 2, it's worth remembering the end of turn 2, it was 2-1 to the Baratheon player. The
Hello,
Baratheon
Bruce.
now
How's it going?
moving on. Oh, hi, Bruce. Baratheon player now moving over towards the middle objective. We could see a 3-point victory turn, a 4-point, victory turn this game. That'll take it to 6, and let's assume the Night's Watch get the 2. That's 6-3. That's quite a nice lead, and more importantly, if you score those same 4 points the next turn, you hit 10.
GG. Yeah.
It's GG.
One of the things that the stream don't know much about Song of Ice and Fire, but one of the things that was told me very early on by Mickey and
so the
Carlo
charge.
is that we have a charge going off at the bottom of the brooks.
Yeah, so
once you're behind in this game, it is incredibly hard, or statistically unlikely that you'll come back from a lead that's as strong as, let's say, a 6-2 or 6-4 or whatever.
It's interesting because some game modes do favour it, some don't. The game modes that do favour it are things like Fire and Blood, some of the Dark Winds, Dark Words, the secret mission scenarios.
That's a good hit from Carlos.
Yeah, he's got the reroll as well. He's got the reroll.
And those hunters will be vulnerable because they're unactivated.
They are vulnerable, and they've just been hit by that as well. So let's see if they remember. Ooh, that's good. So that's a 2 there. That's 3 saves.
Yeah, is he going to use it, or are they not going to bother?
Let's see. We'll see. Oh, okay, we've got a card. What's this? Whoops.
Cancel the effect of that token. Okay. So yeah, Daryl's going to cancel that weekend and just take the
vulnerable.
hit.
The vulnerable. Yeah.
Take the vulnerable. Sorry.
So 3 saves at 5 dead. Poor Night's Watch guys.
What's that? An 8-point unit? If Dan's still around, he'll be able to tell me. I think the Ranger Hunters are 8 points. For a 5-point unit, the Cutthroats to come flying in, and bearing in mind that the Cutthroats were literally initial. Ooh, that's not a good.
That's
roll.
That's not a nice roll.
Yeah. For the Cutthroats being a wave 1 unit, and a lot of people see them and kind of go, well, new players will see them and be like, actually, their stats have got a 5+ defense save. It'd be like, okay, Cutthroats maybe they're kind of a chaff unit. No, Cutthroats will tear any unit up in the game quite quickly.
The panic mechanism after the changes was made a little bit weaker, but panic is still by far one of the best mechanics in the game to remove models.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get those crazy swing moments, but you're still going to get consistent damage. across the game.
Yeah, so I mean, Bolton Cutthroats for 5 points have 5 maneuver. That's worth remembering.
Yeah.
Okay, so
looks like we're getting an attack off.
so they're retreating here.
No,
Is he
it
doing
looks
the?
like he's playing.
Oh, he's
playing an attack.
yeah, he's
So
playing the
when-
swords,
Okay, well,
and then he's playing
it's
vulnerable.
weakened. It's just come off. I'm guessing.
The weaken's just come off. Yep. So 3 hits. The Cutthroats are now weakened. Vulnerable.
Yeah.
And this is from the swords that Craster activated here. So what we are seeing is both NCUs from the Night's Watch coming out early, meaning that the NCU
So
board.
there's the extra 2 dice. I think that are coming up.
Yep.
Okay,
Cool.
2 more hits.
So BNCUs massively favour Baratheon right now. You're supposed to be working Terror. I had that this afternoon. I ended up taking some stats for a while rather than working.
MJ says panic damage was increased in most cases. Yes, I mean it wasn't necessarily increased, but it was made more reliable and consistent across the board. Yeah.
That's the
I
thing.
remember when it first came out, it was one of the most contentious updates. Like, do you remember that, Mickey? The first time we saw that update and be like, "Oh my god, this is gonna ruin Lannisters, or it's gonna ruin the."
Well,
free folk.
I'm glad because I'll be honest with you, the free folk. It was too easy to panic bomb a free folk unit and for them to mostly die from one NCU activation, and that's a problem. Okay, so
Looks like we've had a failed panic from the
that
bottoms.
is a
That's
fail
gonna be
panic,
number
isn't
3.
it? That's the 3 more guys.
Let's see if Daryl's going to use the
Ability.
swift retreat. Yep, looks
Yeah.
like he is. I think he needs a roll for it. But he's only going to move the 1, and then he's going to make a free range attack.
This is why agile is
looking-
terrible. Yes, it is.
This is the ping pong effect of. That's going to be another 4 hits. This could potentially be it, Mickey. This could be a whole unit.
Yep.
With vulnerable as well.
Probably. You know.
This is what Daryl needs really. Daryl needs this activation advantage to try and get himself or scrape himself back into a position where he can get a bit more board dominance. I mean, he's still got to be. At least he's turned off Melisandre now as well, which is nice.
It's worth remembering as well. He's actually not moving into an NCU activation advantage. He's making it even again because of the 3 NCUs.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Sorry, he's not trying to make an advantage, but he's trying to even the playing fields, which is exactly what he needs.
Yes.
And I mean, if he goes from this to killing off this unit, getting a victory point, and then getting a charge off of the Swarm Bros, which I imagine will be on his mind right now, he could potentially take that Relore unit. Yeah, he'll take some damage in the meantime. Yeah, he might get counter charge, but at least he's made an aggressive move and cut down the activation advantage even more.
Again, though, we are looking at a Ranger Hunters unit on 3 models.
Of course, yeah.
You
And
know,
he has no NCUs available to play to heal him back up either, so that's...
Yep, and Crowns is still available.
Crown is still available.
Attacked but not destroyed before or after morale test. Attacked but not destroyed. Ooh, when is that trigger? If anyone knows in the chat, that would be great.
Yeah, it sounds like it is when it has been attacked, and then the not destroyed is just like a specific point in that timing, right?
So attacked but not destroyed before or after morale test. Attacked but not destroyed would be after the morale test, right? Because the morale test is part of the attack.
Yeah.
Does it show a trigger with after attack is completed? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, we think it's the same trigger. I got Lannisters based on using panic to kill people. Yes. Harry got nerfed and was sad, but it's better now. Because sure, you can't one-shot free folk unit, but you can do more damage against high morale units. Yes. So that's the point. Before, units that had low morale, or high morale, whichever way you look at it, so a low number, so good morale, they just didn't lose anything to panic. To the point where if you had morale of like 2 or 3,
Did you see that? That was a save from Carlo.
double 6/5. Vulnerable. Oof, 2 dead.
Oh, two dead. This could be it. This could be this unit gone, which is what Daryl needs really.
It's the panic check at +1 because of the weirwood.
Yeah. Which is gonna put him on 6.
Yeah, 6 for 7 base, so he's gonna be on 6. Let's have a look.
Carlo likes throwing his dice.
He
Thanks,
does.
Carlo.
That's a pass.
And that's a pass. Yeah, the real dog is the Lannisters. The good thing about Lannisters, if you haven't played the game, or if you're quite new to the game, Lannisters do have a very varied way of playing them. You can kind of play a very standard aggressive list of Gregor and Pyromancers and Mountainsmen, or you can go for a bit more of a control list with Tywin and Tyrion, or you can do what Carlo does and just buy 4 of the same unit and win every game.
Yeah.
That's the portfolios if you don't know.
Excuse me a second, I'm just gonna get a drink. My mouth is very dry.
Yeah, no problem.
I can still see, thankfully. Beauty of wireless headsets. So yeah, what we see right now is Surprise Chair is talking. This is Chair Stream now. For those of you that tune into Chair Streams often. What we can see now is that this Bolton unit is not dead, and this was the risk. Because this Bolton unit is not dead. Sure, it's activated, but it has a unit of hunters right in front of it that it could very easily kill. Okay, so we see Axel here.
So the hunters haven't activated. That was the
free retreat.
Was it the free?
Oh no, it was swords, wasn't it? It was swords onto Craster with the free retreat and then the shot. They haven't activated.
Okay, well if they haven't activated, Daryl's not in that bad of a position.
Axel Florent taking the money bags, and yeah, he's dropping the 3 more onto the R'hllor Faithful, and he's also dropping Axel onto that unit as well. That's to remove the counter that was on them, which was a vulnerable, I think, wasn't it? Panic. Let's have a look. What else we got?
Charge. Yeah, it was a charge from the Ranged Hunters to get him back in.
Yep.
This could be a dead Bolton Cutthroat. I mean,
he can't fit on that end of the board. No, so he's gonna have to go 100%, or he's gonna have to go 50% this way.
MJ in the chat saying, "I'd love to see a poor fella game. Still can't imagine it being that strong." Everyone says the same thing. Everyone plays against the list and realizes that it's one of the hardest things to play against in this game. I feel.
There's a right way and a wrong way to play against it, and the right way is to play it by beating it by playing the scenario better than the other player. The wrong way is to think that you can kill the poor fellows. If you're going out on the outset to really kill the poor fellows, you'll be investing a lot of resources into something that may actually not happen.
Yeah. Did you see how many Carlo just saved at that? Oh no, he's got 2. He's going to play Last Stand. Me and make 1 free melee attack using his highest attack dice value before being removed. This looks like it's probably going to be a dead.
That's 4 1s. On that
on its highest attack die value.
No, if he controls crowns, he doesn't control the crowns. Oh no.
No, it doesn't. Nope, it's standard. It just becomes vulnerable if you control the crown. So that should have been a lot more dice than 4.
Yeah. I'll let you deal with that. Let's have a look. Missed the chat stuff. Poor fella game, yeah. Seem very feast or famine. Yeah, a little bit. Ran a supremacy list, spam list with Tywin, and then tried a healing version of that list. Those kind of work, yeah. I thought the destroyed was when it happened, so could trigger after melee or morale, but importantly happens before end of combat, so is different trigger than after an attack, but could be wrong. So the after an attack and after all of these kind of same triggers, the problem is after an attack is still before the retreat overcharge, overrun through. Okay, passes a morale check.
Passes, so he's only going to lose 1 more model on top of what he already lost. So it's not as bad of a that could have been a lot worse for Daryl. He's looked out quite heavily.
Yeah.
That puts Carlo in a tough position with his R'hllor because he now has what, for all intents and purposes, a trident missile standing right in front of him.
Yep.
With a couple of things standing to his side. He needs to make a decision whether he wants to nullify this hunter threat on his right hand side before the Swarm Bros get in.
So I bring a slightly interesting theory here. Do you need to?
Yeah.
Here comes Shara Errol taking letters.
Yeah.
Shira, for anyone who's not sure, when she takes the letters, she gets to put a token off another unit as well. And she basically gets the money bags and the letters tokens bit, both of them, regardless of which one she takes. So it's kind of useful. You can take money bags or letters and still get some part of the effect of the money bags or letters. Of the alternative one, sorry. Yeah, so the interesting thing here with the R'hllor Faithful here, do we need or does Carlo need to be afraid of the Ranger Hunters? There are only 2 models after all. They're activated for this turn. There's no surprises probably coming. We might see some card play, but
Yeah.
look, our Night's Watch player's only got 1 card in hand.
Yeah. How has that happened?
So, if Carlo wants, he can sit and score the 4 objectives, the 4 points worth of objectives.
Yeah.
And sure, I think Daryl's going to do something against that, but
Yeah, but that also means that Daryl would have to move off the point to get that. So is that what you mean? That he would have to move off that point and give up those with no way of retreating his unit back.
correct.
So that's going to be an interesting choice. Carlo has put Daryl in one of the worst positions he could be in terms of objectives. And I'm not sure where Daryl can go. And this, as for people that have been following us, this has kind of stemmed from that initial misdeployment of those conscripts.
It has. So Bruce, talking about the after attacks and things like that. Yeah. So there was I'll try and find it again and see if I can link it at some point. There was a chat had with some people in Mike Chanel, I think it was, and basically it appeared like the solution was that when you make an attack, the overrun or the pivot or the I forget what you call it, the not an overrun, is it? The maneuver after an attack. I forgot what it's called now, but that actually happens after the attack has completely finished, not after the attack has finished. So a card like Countercharge that says after an attack has been completed, he specifically said that card happens before the overrun or before the maneuver through or anything like that. So you countercharge the unit where it had charged into. So there's a very key important thing there. So after an attack is complete, implies what he's saying there is that wording implies that that's before the free maneuver if you do wipe an enemy out on the charge or on an attack. So I don't know the Baratheon deck well enough to know the different exact triggers and to know exactly when they each play, but I do think a lot of the Baratheon cards do share similar triggers, which is part of the problem. If I could find that link, I'll have your babies. I'd love to give you my children, except they're all unborn, and I believe that I'd be a fantastic father because look at me. I'm a god among men. No, I'm about a 5'6" midget with hairy feet.
A hobbit.
I am actually a hobbit. Just a lot quieter, louder than hobbits are. So yeah, this is interesting. I don't.
This is going to be a range tracker's shot to the side.
Yes.
The vulnerable. So you put the vulnerable from range tracker's order, which is was it mark opportunity or mark target or something?
Opportunity mark target. There you go.
Yeah. That's a lot of good hits considering they're
yeah, that's
low.
5 hits.
Yeah.
And we see
gonna be
5 saves. Oh no, -1 for the flank. So we see 3 saves and the vulnerable coming out. Ooh, 5 dead. I'll see if I can find that link for you, Bruce, and send it when I can.
Check a -2 for the corpse pile, and is that gonna be fail? Yeah, that's another 2 units. That's a good shot considering they are trackers. They're not exactly in the most offensive unit. That's a good attack.
So this is where we said that the game would hinge on for the Night's Watch player. We go back to this. These cavalry really had to make a lot out of this warden unit, and they had to butcher it.
And Daryl could run another. So Daryl's turn's next. Let's see what. the Sentinels will do, whether or not Carlo wants to move away from that point just to kind of stop himself from getting destroyed, because they haven't activated yet.
Hmm.
But if he doesn't activate it, it gives Daryl room to move and work his way through the flank, and losing that end of the flank is going to cause a lot of trouble, really.
Yeah, I mean, and this also takes away an objective point from Carlo every turn.
Yeah.
But, big important moment here, he doesn't have to deal with this right now.
Oh, let's see what's going on.
They're just pulling up the objective card there so they can remind
It
themselves.
looks like Carlo is pivoting around.
So, yeah, so he's not going to do anything. His activation is just going to do to turn. You see what Carlo's doing here? He's confirming another victory point. He knows that unit's not going to be under threat, probably, for the rest of his turn. So we just waste the activation now, turn it. Maybe, yeah, he's going to shuffle it forward a little bit. I mean, this really is neither here nor there, isn't it?
No. So, thing about the Ranger Tracker's movement, they can move 6 for their cavalry movement and then shift the further 2 inches. He's still not going to be able to get a side charge off regardless, or side shot off regardless. Yeah, you can see he's measuring up there. You can move 6 inches and then move forward a further 2. I can't see any way of Carlos stopping a side shot.
Well, interestingly, he can stop the side shot because the trackers, in order to move 6 forward where they are, they'd be within an inch of the wardens. So they'd have to go wider. Going wider.
And then he would pivot himself onto the corpse pile.
So if he comes out of the corpse pile, you know, he probably won't pivot onto the corpse pile, but he forces him to further back this way, and he goes wider, and potentially that will keep him in front arc.
I mean, still, it's going to be a 5-inch move followed by a 1-inch shuffle. That's still going to be 6 inches. I can't see.
Or even a 2-inch. It's a 2-inch shuffle. You know, it's 7 inches.
Still a 2-inch shift if it's.
It won't be over the corpse pile. It won't
be. That's assuming he goes over that side. Yeah, you're right. That's assuming he goes.
If we assume he goes towards Carlo's hand, because going back the other way was definitely a mistake.
Yeah. Okay. So what's going on now? He seems he's moved.
So the bait was finally taken. Anyone who's watching for a while, the Swarm Brothers finally charged the R'hllor Faithful.
But it looks like Daryl splooged his additional attack dice on his Ranger Hunters.
Yeah, so this came out earlier.
Yeah, well, he's got critical blow and he's got Sundering, so that's going to be
6, 7. Oh! 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. Yeah. So you know when we talk about there's the reroll from the weakened coming in.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame.
So this is the discussion I had with you about Unsullied, right?
Yeah.
Unsullied roll 10 attack dice.
Yeah.
The Swarm Brothers don't roll 10 attack dice. The Swarm Brothers just hit with 12.
Yeah.
The Unsullied usually hit with something like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Like, it just goes further into the point where having good high number dice is good, but the keywords is better.
I mean, again, cross faction.
Of course, but it's the attack. It's the attack that matters, and the key.
Carlo just removed 4 units from there. It's because he's got Sundering, right? So it would have been a 6+.
Yep.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, 9 points. It's Mickey's favorite topic, Tereshard. He loves talking about how bad the Unsullied are.
Well, no, but it again, like having lots of dice isn't necessarily a good thing.
No, it's. I think having lots of dice put into one specific attack or one specific activation is very bad. If you compare it to the likes of the veterans who are going to get 7 and 8 across 2 separate actions.
Yeah. So we see him around.
You have more of a chance. Yeah.
Coming in here. Oh, pass. Massive pass.
Yeah, that's a pass.
And that's because they themselves.
It's going to be 6 minus 2 plus 1 for.
So is this because he? Yep, he's going to make the ours is the Fury, and he's going to make a free attack. It doesn't have crowns.
No,
doesn't have crowns.
Whatever else. They hurt like hell, but they die like raiders. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, Real Duggars, the Unsullied with Bronn hurt like hell. They do. That has been what I've kind of pivoted myself into.
That's 3 dead.
Play them. Let's see what happens.
Nice watch. Yeah, so the discussion, I mean, it's not really about Unsullied. It's just throwing lots of dice is really good, but keywords are going to get you more kills.
So we've got a net 1 panic attack. Oh, that's gonna be number 2. It's gonna be 5 altogether.
5 dead.
Is it
5 dead.
altogether?
Yeah, 5. 3 fail saves and 2 there.
And Carlo's gonna get 3 back, right?
Bolton Flayer allows panic test is just correct me if I'm wrong. It's 2 wounds back.
2 comes back.
I'm gonna get some more food. My local shop reopened today after closing for lockdown. They're still obviously obeying a lot of rules. There are only like 2 people in the shop and all that. But I got myself some goodies so I can actually eat some snacks and things.
Oh, nice.
Without advertising, I've been eating some reconstituted meat sticks. If you know the brand, then I'll just do that.
Make Targs great again.
Make dogs great again.
I'd say.
Oh god, I've just had a
I mean,
thought.
having seen these leaks, Tara, I'm not sure that's gonna happen anytime soon. I think we need, for Targs in general, I mean, we could go on this for hours. I've been talking about it since it happened, this morning. We need to see the point costs for everything that's been leaked so far, because that kind of changes how they're supposed to play. And we have to take into account, we haven't seen everything that the Targs will have in Heroes. We haven't seen many tactics cards. We've seen all the Grey Worms. We haven't seen all of, I'm assuming, Baratheons and all of Jorah's, I guess, if he's a commander. And that could potentially swing things a little bit better. But so far, yeah, I mean, people are raving about Pia, and I think if Pia is a very low cost NCU, then yeah, he'd be super cool. But if he is the expected 4 to 5 points, it's, I think, for list building purposes, I mean, Mickey will probably disagree, but for list building purposes for the Targaryens, he kind of limits what you can do. You're probably not going to be running those unsullied officer units going forward.
The biggest problem with the Targaryens now is it
Hey, Doc,
doesn't look good.
how's it going?
You're right, Doc. Yeah, the more and more I see of the Targaryens, and the less I see a valuable 5-point, like the real thing. I said it again earlier this stream. The pikemen need to come out and need to be seen as a 5-point unit that are effective. Because right now, Cutthroats being really the only 5-point unit that's worth taking. Maybe Stormcrow Mercenaries, but they're not good. It's not worth it.
Also, that possibility. There's also that possibility of the Harakas, which everyone's kind of assuming going to be some sort of weird bastard girls sort of unit. I mean, they could be 5 point, maybe. I doubt 2 Lions and 2 Dothraki are going to be 5 points, but let's see where it goes. And then we've just got to think about if it turns out that Heroes Box doesn't change the faction entirely, like it has done with the Baratheons, it has done with the Free Folk. I think we're just gonna have to wait until we see the Pikemen, see the Mother of Dragons, see the Freedmen. Let's see what goes on.
So it looks like there was some form of maneuver here with them. I don't know. It looked like they were being moved.
The Stormcrows look like they positioned themselves a little bit better on the flank, and imagine that's in.
But they weren't. It wasn't an activation, so no, certainly the unit isn't activated. So I don't know why exactly they were making that move. I'm sure we'll find out. Right, the most contentious unit of the game coming into play. These conscripts. Sorry. What have they done all game? Would anyone like to take a guess?
So Carlo did activate the Stormcrows and move them to a different position. I guess that's in That's in response to possible.
In game, Mike Scott.
Sorry. I guess that is for a possible flank around. I guess if you're expecting the trackers to go up over the corpse pile.
I'm guessing.
I think so, but I mean, we were expecting the trackers to come down. Hey Doc, so how's it going? Yeah, we've picked up what you said, so now we have hidden all of the secret tactics cards and stuff.
Yep.
Just to see how it goes. I mean, so far we kind of have just been guessing what they're gonna have, and it's cool. It means we're surprised when cards come out. Let's see what Daryl's trying to do. It looks like he's measuring up for an attack with the hunters against the Lord's Faithful.
So we got a confirmation there. The Stormcrouchers did activate. But
Yeah.
there's conscripts here. I mean, for those of you who have been watching, let's track their progress. They started here, and at the end of turn 3, they're going to end here. That's 3 turns of movement for conscripts, and during that time they've scored 0 victory points, and pretty much done nothing. So great work. You've done a brilliant thing with some victory points there. Sorry, I sound really negative, but it is. We talked a lot about it in turn 1.
We said it before. We said in deployment that this is going to cause a problem. Let's see where it goes. So, Real Douglas and Terrorstride, you guys are both local to each other. Where is local for you guys? Was it Terra you saying you're from San Antonio? Or am I thinking of someone else?
Insta try to a free throat trapper. Yeah, I do that a lot. I kill a lot of jurors when they run them solo.
Oh, Grimsby. Oh, sorry, you guys are UK. Okay, cool.
Oh, from Grimsby. Yeah, not too far away from us up here. In the northeast of the UK.
Oh, sorry, I misread what you were saying, Douglas.
Bruce's Redcar.
Okay. Hey. So, is Redcar the northeast guys you were talking about, Mickey? The ones that we're not sure.
No, so there's some in Redcar I know of, and there's a couple in Seaham as well.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, Philly, USA, rather than the Philadelphia area somewhere else.
How are you
Clearly
guys
not
doing
famous.
with the current climate, Tara? I know the East Coast US is getting hit pretty hard, so I hope things are going well.
If anything else, if the news is to go by, you just go outside. If you're in the US, right? You just take placards and go outside and pretend that it's not on. I won't go into politics. But Daryl working in hospitals and being a nurse on an ICU ward, I can imagine Daryl would be rolling in his grave. Grave, rolling on the stream right now if he could.
Yeah, let's not put any more pressure on Daryl because we know what kind of a volatile person he is in general.
Yeah.
We might see a table flip here.
He'll like listen back to this one, won't he?
So Douglas, are you saying you want to come to do one of the NRG events?
Yes, it's Hilo, isn't it? Hilo, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Hopefully, once this ends, we'll get a good group of people coming to things.
And Bruce, I mean, you're in Redcar. I'm not far away myself from Darlington. So we've got Carlo's towards Durham way, Scott and Daryl up in Newcastle. We've got some more players as well. I don't know if Space Monkey's still about, but he's Durham based as well. So we're all up in this area. Come down.
Yeah, it's funny enough. It seems that, I mean, I might be talking nonsense here, but it seems like the Northeast is, from the efforts of us guys and other people coming into things, it seems to be picking up kind of one of the biggest areas in the UK. Well, in England, I know John up in Scotland's doing a lot of stuff. Is it Stirling he's based?
Yeah, he's so they're all in and around based Stirling and Glasgow area, but it's not quite in Glasgow. A couple of them are outside of it.
Terrace saying he's had Corona in December. I've heard it's pretty brutal. I mean, that's kind of understating it there, but
yeah. Oh, well done, Terra, by the way, for surviving Corona. Great work.
Yeah.
Great work.
You and Tom Hanks, my man. You and Tom Hanks.
Oh, to be in the same category as Tom Hanks in anything is a plus, isn't it?
Yeah, we had at my work we had lots of people, have lots of people based in NYC, and it sounds pretty crazy. We're quite lucky up in the northeast because we're so far away from things. It's not too bad. I mean, Daryl might be again very disgusted about what I'm saying.
Anyway,
anyways, yeah.
So let's look at this board, and what on earth is this move? This is a cluster, isn't it?
So I guess Carlo's trying to
pivot back onto the objective.
Yeah, he doesn't want to charge Daryl at this point because it's conscripts anyways. It's not going to make too much of a difference. But he wants to keep that middle objective, which is going to put him at that's going to win in the game, isn't it? If he keeps this up and nothing dies, it's game over because it's currently sitting on 6 and 3.
No, so this is entering turn 4 now. This is the end of their turn 3. So they've just scored at the end of the end of the turn there.
Okay, I'll say this is going to turn 4.
This is going into turn 4 now. So yeah, if he controls this at the end of the turn, he will win the game. But we'll see. We will see.
So if any of the viewers here, we've currently got 15 in stays, but keeps jumping around between 15 and 23.
Hello.
Hello, Daryl.
wow.
If
Hello.
anyone is here for the free giveaway, we're going to do it now. If you can make yourself known in the chat, that would be great.
Pipe
If you
up.
could give us a follow and a prime sub and a sub in general, or just give us some of your kids and a kidney, which has been a strong theme across this stream so far.
So if
Let
anyone
us
doesn't know, if you have Amazon Prime and you go to Twitch and link Amazon to Twitch, you get a free Twitch Prime, which is a free sub, costs you absolutely nothing and helps us out a little bit. And we would be very appreciative of it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So if you could just say "give me" in the chat, we'll know.
Okay, mate.
About the thing. So how are you guys thinking so far?
So Carlo's winning the game, but it's. Yeah, I mean, he's played maneuver, like, so movement-wise, he's played really well. And he's right in the way that he was talking earlier about having you know, an area to fight over. I just need to try and finish the job, I think, on a couple of units, and in doing so, you know, like, make my position a bit better. It's currently a bit of a, I think, a bit of a 50-50, because I think I've got the capacity to polish off at least maybe 2 units this round. But he also has the same, you know, there's some of them are hanging on for dear life. I don't know. It's a typical game against Carlo. You never know what you're doing until the end of the game.
How about you, Carlo? What are you thinking?
Oh, shit.
I think last round was quite a bad round for me. It felt like I was in a really strong position. I liked where I was, but then I started to, like, some nice play by Daryl, always disengaging, kind of nullified all the plays that I had in my mind. I think I maybe started off a little bit aggressive. I don't think I needed to start with that first maneuver at the end of the round into that flank charge. It wasn't quite as devastating as I wanted, and he just retreated away, left me with nothing. I should have activated the combat unit that was already engaged, probably just with swords. Should have got an attack off and kind of, like, got myself ahead of the game in that way. Instead, I kind of got myself in terms of, like, back and forth. I was trying to force things, and it resulted in, you know, the cutthroats did make that charge. It was a big hit, but then it just all fell apart when they just got shot and attacked and taken apart. And unfortunately, the Baratheon triggers are just really difficult to get off. You know, we decide that my after attack trigger is the same as his, so he gets to retreat before I get to make an attack and things like that. So all these things I have in my mind, I just can't play, and I've played very few tactics cards so far. And when you're playing this few tactics cards, you're probably losing. You know, I think people who are maybe struggling to understand why they're not doing better is maybe because they are not generating the right situations to play their tactics cards. And I've kept a few too many tactics cards that I just can't play. But I keep feeling like every round, I'm like, next round will be the round. I'll get to keep them. But on hindsight, I should have got rid of some of these cards on turn one.
That's how I ended up hating the Free Folk deck. That's literally the exact. No. So
Yeah.
I know we've had these discussions before, but that exact thing, that not wanting to get rid of cards, and you know, hanging on thinking it might be useful next turn, it might be useful the turn after, and then actually just realizing that you could have been digging for a card that you want. Again, we draw lots of parallels with other games, and Magic the Gathering. Keeping bad starting hands or keeping bad hands when realistically you want to be trying to fill them again is. It's never works out well.
There's been some pretty crazy rolls as that. I think Daryl used to save, like, what, 5 hits from the cutthroats with the hunters. That was ridiculous.
By the way,
I've been chasing that last turn. I was also started as the situation got away from me a little bit. I was chasing panic checks, and against somebody who's passing on a 7 or an 8 or even a 6, you know, yeah, any one seems like a good opportunity because it's maybe 50-50-ish that it'll happen your way. But when you're chasing 50-50s and they keep going against you, then, you know, you get yourself in a bad situation. You need to play on better odds than 50-50s.
Let's not pretend the rules haven't been going in his favour as well, though, because
Yeah.
did you see my rule with the Swarm Bros versus the reroll due to weekend?
Oh god, yeah. It was what,
It
four?
was like
four sixes?
yeah, there was like 14 hits or something like that.
And then he's got weekend. Oof.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Weekend
interesting
down to 5.
you talk about the interaction between the Baratheon cards and the attack on the Ranger Hunters. Now, I didn't quite fully understand the discussion you were having at the time, but Swift Strike versus
after the attack is completed
yes,
versus after a unit is attacked in melee but didn't die. So I asked if that specific trigger was the same trigger, and you both said yes.
I think it is. And the reason I say I think it
If
is,
it's the same trigger, he gets to retreat before I get to
You got to make the attack.
I don't get to attack.
correct. I think that is right.
So, because otherwise, because we were talking about, and basically you could say after the attack, but not the morale, because the morale is part of the attack's like section, but not the attack step.
So
You know what I mean?
morale is completely part of the attack. So it would have to be after defense dice are rolled, is when that would be.
Yeah. So that would be so this is what me and Carlo were talking about, because he thought that there was a potential for that to be the trigger.
Yeah.
The other trigger is possibly maybe before Surge Forth happens. There is a step between morale and then Surge Forth.
There is.
So after an attack is completed, it is before Surge Forth, but after a unit is attacked but not killed is after morale, but before Surge Forth, and possibly after attack is fully completed is after Surge Forth, which would then class the Baratheon as the first trigger.
Yes, and that has been confirmed.
Keyword fully completed, or I don't know if it says fully or if it just says completed.
That was confirmed. I was talking with Bruce in chat about this. The countercharge ability. It specifically says I can't remember where me and Carlo found it, but there was a discussion, and it was Chanel or Fabio. Someone had said that countercharge definitely happens. It might have been one of the podcasts actually, but countercharge definitely happens before any overrun or surge forth.
Yeah.
And they actually have exactly the same wording. So overrun has exactly the same wording as countercharge, but actually countercharge always takes precedence. It's not a player choice. So that could be an interaction there where the Baratheon card would actually take precedence, but we have no way of knowing at the moment because the wording unfortunately isn't brilliant.
Okay. So I don't think we're a bit.
We'll just wait in a moment. There's a couple of people in the Discord that are talking about it, so we'll just give it a little bit longer, see if anyone jumps in.
Okay, let's wait till the end of round 5 then. Okay.
Okay, end of round 5, we'll do the final giveaway, and then someone will get TDS.
Cool. Right, Carlo, back in.
So interesting that Daryl thinks he's at such a strong place, whereas in comparison what we've seen or what we thought has been going on is seeing Daryl very much playing on the back foot and Carlo being in a very strong position.
So this is the big difference, is that Carlo can capitulate here. Right? If Carlo plays this turn very wrong, there's a good chance he doesn't do very well. But you know, he's only sitting on 3 victory points versus a 6, and Carlo's got 4 victory points coming in. So the onus is on Daryl to make the plays to take a victory point off, and the activation level is exactly the same at the moment. The issue is that the trackers unit is going to find it, this Hunter's unit is going to find it very hard to get involved in the game anymore.
So someone in Discord just said overrun is played after the attack, but its effect is not applied till the surge forth step happens. That's why counter charge blocks it and cancels.
Right. Okay. So you'd actually still play the card, but then
it would just cancel, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, the effect is not.
So you essentially wouldn't be able to move out of the way of the charge or put yourself out of a position. You'd happen to before the unit gets a chance to move out of the way.
Yeah.
I wish Daryl gave us moderator chat in stream.
I know, right? It would be really useful.
Got 19 viewers now, though. That's good. It's bumped up a little bit from Discord.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anyone has joined us from Discord that is interested in entering the TS draw, as long as you have a Twitch account and you've typed "give me" in the chat and you follow us, we'll enter you in the draw.
Yep. How many have we got at the moment? We just got. Is it only Bruce in at the moment?
Just Doug is in at the moment.
Oh, Douglas, isn't it? Bruce has
Yeah.
already got it. And Douglas is going to give it to Hilo anyway, so.
Yeah, so come on, get yourself in, and then hopefully you can get some Song of Ice and Fire while the world goes nuts for a little bit. Not Bruce, yeah.
Yeah, not Bruce. My bad.
What if we just gave it to you out of spite? You're just gonna have another copy of TS.
I've already got TTS, says Dark Ace. Yeah. Well, it turns out a lot of people have. You know, it's like we're running a big TTS tournament, and a lot of people either got the game beforehand or already had it because it's a good thing to have.
Yeah, I think it's definitely keeping a little bit of normality, as Tara was saying before. It's giving a little bit of normality to the people who enjoy tabletop games. It's not just for Song of Ice and Fire. Like I know the Star Wars Legion guys are making good use of it. And I know lots of people like Daryl's been using it quite a lot for Wingspan, to play with just his regular kind of tabletop mates, not people who are into any of the kind of hardcore war gamer games. But at least we're keeping some things alive during this pandemic.
I mean, I love it. I love the pandemic, and not because I like people dying.
Okay, controversial
Wait,
statement.
no, wait for it. You can't just take it out of context.
Okay.
I like it because of the realization it's brought to a lot of people. Certainly with my work.
We've got a tactics card.
Got a tactics card coming down, have we?
Yeah, hold the line when a friendly engaged combat unit activates that unit's melee attack gains +1 to hit and rolls 2+2 dice. That's going to make that 1 rank roll a little bit harder to hit.
So this is 1 rank roll, that's 4 dice, so it's up to 6 dice, hitting on 2s, and that's 2 1s.
Yeah, Tara's like, Douglas is like clipping and shit, but yeah. Mickey's saying, I love this pandemic.
Yeah. Well, no, so
Sorry, what were you saying? What were you saying about your work?
So the thing is that a lot of people I know, 3 1s on that save, 3 dead. A lot of places are realizing that technology is important.
Yes, yeah.
So smaller companies are getting on the tech bandwagon now, and I think it's waking a lot of people up. Good morale save. It's waking a lot of, to be honest, backwater things up.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same for your workplace, but mine in particular, again, this is going way far from Song of Ice and Fire, but I think a lot of companies in the world are realizing what's the real point of having an office if everyone's just as productive being at home.
Yeah, and actually it benefits things like TTS as well, and because people are going, well, let's look for alternatives to doing the normal thing. Yeah. And TTS was already a thing that you could have used to play Song on, and people did. But now there's more people using TTS, which means that if you go to your games night, so for us on a Friday, we go to Friday night games, we play, brilliant. But what happens if we want a game on Tuesday? We can just be like, hey, Scott, you're busy. Do you want a quick game?
We have done that. We have done that in the last 3 weeks, which we hadn't done before, where people are like, oh, do you just want a game? Not necessarily something you're going to stream, but something to just kind of, keep yourself in the game a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to play a game against you last night. Ended up playing against Carlo. Played against a guy on the Discord, Rorschach. After that. So I had 3 games, or 2.5 games of Song last night.
And
that's
I know
brilliant.
Dark Ace has said before about for Legion primarily, and I know this league that we are running all together for Song of Ice and Fire is pretty much based on how Legion's being used in TDS, because Legion in TDS was there from the very start, and it was a lot of mod support and there's a lot of people backing it, and even I think FFG themselves have been like, okay, this kind of works for us. that sort of support from the community has changed Legion. It could have been one of those games that releases and slowly kind of withers and dies, but TDS has essentially kept it alive. And it's made all of these kind of lists you'd never see before, like the triple Tauntaun. I don't know if that was something that would have kind of naturally occurred if TTS wasn't there.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have that. You weren't going to go out and spend 60 quid on 3 sets of Tauntauns if you weren't sure it was going to be very good.
Yep. So we see, so that was Burn Marsh on the swords there hitting first,
Yep.
and then they activated and attack back. We see Craster coming down on the moneybags, and looks like 3 more hunters on this unit
Hunters
here.
coming back, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Bruce there, Friday night games at Beanies, no. I do sometimes work in Middlesbrough area. I go to Beanies in Middlesbrough. Stockton, technically, isn't it? But no, I play up in Durham at the Giles Gate Community Centre, Vane Tempest Hall. Check it out, Durham War Games Group. Get yourself down on Friday night. We'll play you. Be nice to meet you.
Yep.
Yeah, the Legion TTS is fantastic. Yeah, most the mod guys have done a great job. Yes, yeah, I think that's definitely true across not just Legion but even Song. So
Darkness is saying that the first tournament was in Germany after Tauntaun release was just triple Tauntaun spam all over the place. But yeah, that's exactly it. Would that have happened without TDS being the initial barometer of whether that list was going to be good?
yeah, that's a good point. Axel Florent going down onto letters here. So we're going to see some card draw. Carlo up to 6 cards, I'm guessing here. Yep, 6 cards.
Yep.
And he's going to influence. Yes, so this is an interaction we haven't seen this game. But Axel Florent coming down on the Stormcrow Archers. Now, they are definitely within a long. That's definitely less than 12 inches. Which means when this unit dies, that Faith token can be used to trigger these guys to make an attack. Because they're now Relore, that's pretty strong, just getting a free shot off. It also, you'll notice, it doesn't have money bags, so the Stormcrow Lieutenant doesn't come into play as much. Sure, I must warn you, you're not very good. Don't worry, Bruce. You don't have to be good to play the game. You just have to be fun to play with. We've got some other players as well who aren't actually taking part in the tournament, who just play for fun. There's about 2 or 3 other guys, and they just enjoy themselves and play funny lists.
And even though I'm part of this group, I wouldn't exactly class myself as a good player. Mickey's like, yep, I totally agree with that.
Just watch my face on the stream, and I won't betray any emotion. I trust that you're a good player, Scott.
Thanks. I need your belief in me.
I trust
to keep me
you
going.
so hard. Right. So going back, we see the as we kind of like thought this might happen, the hunters have come into the side of the Relore Faithful. Whoops, a bit of a lag there, Spike. Sorry. Oh, we got card play here. Last Stand. Okay, yeah. So Last Stand comes out, and he's going to Last Stand with this unit. It uses his highest attack die. Remember, you don't need crowns for this. The crowns is for the vulnerable.
I think that surprised Carlo as well, because I think he expected the crowns. Well, he did last time, didn't he? So that's probably changed his opinion of this card quite drastically.
So we're going to see this one Bolton Flayer here. I can't select the guy. Where is he?
Oh, okay. What's going on?
This guy.
It looks like Daryl's playing a card. Friendly unit, sort of vulnerable, +2 dice.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know whether he just let them play the card. Ooh, that's a good Last Stand.
I think that was accidental card play. I don't think that was important. Yeah, so Last Stand comes out, and that's all but one.
All but one hit.
So that's what, 5, 6, 7?
This should be a dead.
And that's a dead unit.
That's a dead. And that Relore Faith token is going to
trigger some attacks over here. Now,
yeah.
The important thing is, it doesn't trigger actually as much as we think. So let's just double check the card. You'll notice it says after this unit is attacked with melee, the attacker suffers a panic test with -1 to their roll, but the attacker's dead anyway. When this unit is destroyed, one other Relore unit make a long range within long range may make one free attack action. The only unit that can actually attack is this unit here, because none of the others engaged. This is Relore, but I don't believe it can actually see anything that is in long range. Maybe a shot at these trackers over here. There's no shot there because these both block line of sight. and everything else is out of arc.
Yeah, that's going to be upsetting for Carlo because he would really want that to hit.
Yeah.
So that being said, all Carlo really needs to do right now is to sit in these points, though, right?
Yes, all he needs to do is sit on the points and make sure that he doesn't get outranked. Now, the conscripts here are pretty good at outranking because obviously they heal up, but they're not going to get into combat because there's no NCUs left for the Night's Watch. Their activation is going to charge.
Yeah. That being said, it's only turn 4. It's quite early on in the game.
It is, but he only needs to get 3 points. He can even afford to give up the Wardens at this point. As long as the R'hllor Faithful in the middle of the table don't get outnumbered or don't die, he is probably going to win this at the end of the turn. Rip, says Dark Acer. Yeah. Rip indeed.
So what has Daryl got left to activate? He has the Swarm Bros, which could make a charge quite easily, and he's got the Hunters, which could also do an attack. Could make a charge again, I guess. He's got conscripts that are going to get in there. So in theory, really, there's no way these R'hllor are going to sit in this point for the end of this round.
And it looks like he's moving them off. So this is a bit of a gambit. Okay. The gambit being, he can come off and try and charge this unit. If he kills it, it's another victory point. That puts him to 8. The problem is he doesn't control these 2 points. I mean, let's have a look at this point here. Realistically, I'm pretty sure the Ranger trackers over here haven't activated. That should be off. I'm pretty sure that this combat over here will end up with the Wardens dying. If the Warden's dying, that means he's only got these 2 points in the middle, and if he abandons that point, he's only going to score 1. So he still has to find 2 points. If he kills this unit, he still needs to kill another unit. Or he's playing another turn. And the longer he plays this game, the worse I think it's going to get for him. End of round 5 of the draw. Yeah, cool. Sir Baelish. Welcome to Sir Baelish. Although, was he Sir Baelish? He was Sir Baelish, wasn't he, in the books and in the TV series? Wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was a Sir of some sort.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. He died anyway. I mean, so did everyone, right? So. No, he's a lord. Yes, he's Lord Baelish. Of course he is. Not a Sir.
Not a Sir. Kind of like the Unsullied, right? Aha. See what I did.
Anyway, let's let's look back at the game.
I mean, it's surprising Sir Baelish that he's so committed to that character. He's, for all intents and purposes, he was an arse. Even in the books, he's still an arse.
He's still alive to me, damn it. So what do we see? I mean, this unit has finally decided. Oh no, that's a 1.
Oh, jeez. Oh, he's reloaded. It's gonna be 3.
Was
That's
that?
gonna get him in, right? Is he charging? He's charging the Swarm Bros, right? Yeah.
He failed the charge.
He failed the charge.
It was the one he rolled. He rolled the 1. I don't know why he added the extra dice. It was a bit strange. Immortal Skin Changer. Yes. I thought, well, Barris is. Oh wow, wow. Carlo, what are you doing?
Could have been worse.
It could have been. The 1 is not too bad, but the thing is, again, failing that panic check means you don't get the Heart of Fire special token. So it really limits like their offensive capability without that, because they're not getting a -1 panic check on the enemy that's attacking them.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a shame. Is there any way Daryl can get that conscript on that center point this turn?
Not easily. He can't get through that gap, I don't think.
Oh, jeez, because that could have changed the game.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
I mean, what I'm more expecting right now is to see Daryl come in with the Swarm Bros. Oh no, he's going for a charge.
He's going for a charge with the conscripts. Yeah, in the rear. So I don't think he can be in a position where he can. No, so he can't control the token, but he can flip like that. This has its own set of problems, and I won't go into that quite yet. But it's To do with these guys getting free attacks against these guys, or charging them, or just generally making mincemeat of them.
So I wonder why Daryl pulled his unit that far across.
I think he pulled that unit that far across because he wants to apply pressure. He wants to put pressure on the Baratheon player on these objectives. And this is the right way to do that. We see a reroll there. Not brilliant, but he's got the reroll.
Yeah, lucky.
A little bit better.
Yeah,
So,
I mean it's conscripts. That's 4 hits that they wouldn't have got,
I mean,
and potentially 4 unsaved because it's gonna be 6s now, right?
it's about average. You'd expect 3.5 hits with a 4+, so that's about average. It's in the rear though, which is pretty big. So these R'hllor faithful are going to be surviving on 6s.
Yeah, getting punched in the rear is not fun, guys.
Yeah, don't do that.
Carlo
Don't.
with his
It's 4 dead. Who cares? They're conscripts.
So why is Carlo going down? He's went from 4 to 6 now.
So he already had 2 lost
Okay.
from the panic check. Remember?
Panic check. He needs his panic check to go off.
If he passes this panic check, I can see some good things happening. If he doesn't, like, nah, it's passed, isn't it? Yeah. Your net -1. You get +1 for the weirwood, -2 from behind. So it's +1, and they're testing on a 4 anyway. So there's a faith token on that unit. Can I ping? I can't ping.
No.
He could be spending the faith token straight away.
He's spending it straight away. Let's see what happens. Is that going to be a panic check back? Oh,
It
I think
is.
Daryl's passed that. No, I don't think he has.
So it's
Daryl
minus
takes 3.
it's -1 for each of the remaining ranks. So it's a -2, but then the +1 back for the weirwood. So it's a net -1 panic check on the conscripts, rolling a 9, which is a pass.
Which is a pass, yeah.
It is a pass.
This is not good for Carlo. So in theory, Carlo will most likely lose his wardens on that bottom point.
Yes, I mean there's a lot that tracker's unit can do.
So if Daryl is to kill this unit of R'hllor's faithful with the Swarm Bros, which is most likely going to happen, I mean he's got the hunters as well to sit on the side. Daryl could essentially sit on all 3 points and win the game.
Yes, there is a non-zero chance of Daryl winning the game this turn. And yeah, Terra, I agree. This did get interesting. I thought that this unit of conscripts not being in the game, and this unit not getting the value that it needed to get, but actually the 2 units under Night's Watch on this flank got enough value out of the Baratheons, killing off two units for 1, and maintaining enough strength to threaten this. Let's be honest right now. The Wardens, all they've done is get shot up.
Yeah.
I think this is not terrible for them. I think this is okay. But these Stormcrow archers, man.
Yeah.
What have they done? They've scored victory points, sure, but that's all they've done.
I feel like Daryl has been very lucky.
He has been a little bit.
He has massively misplayed the deployment. He's massively misplayed his movement. He's won out simply on the luck of the dice.
I think there's certainly not making that key charge, rolling that 1 on that charge. It does suck. But I think the game was already, we heard Daryl a couple of minutes ago saying the game was already swinging in his direction.
That was the panic check for some reason. Was that on the crowns?
Guess that was a panic check on the crowns, yeah.
So it depends who he went against. Oh, went against the trackers.
Yeah, thin them down a little bit. But they rolled a 9 again. I mean, Daryl's rolled really well on his panics. He succeeded a lot of them.
Let's see what's going on here.
Yeah, Stormcrouchers aren't good, are they, Terra? They're not good at all.
He's just rolled the 5 for something. I'm guessing he's going to make a charge.
Charge, yeah. Well, this is what we expected. We expected this unit to come through charging round the bend because you can just maneuver their charge.
Put a vulnerable on them, or has he already used vulnerable?
He hasn't put a vulnerable on them. He's probably forgotten. Don't remind them.
Oh.
Only ask
I mean,
questions.
if it's a missed rule,
Yeah.
because I don't think you'd miss that in any other case. That's still not that great of a roll though. You're still only gonna get 3 hits out of that. I think the 4+ to hit. Yeah.
You're definitely gonna roll 5 dice there. Should be rolling 6, unless I'm an idiot.
Well, I'll give him the help with the
I know.
vuln.
He did put the vulnerable in. So that's 2 dead. And he's got 1 guy left.
Uh-huh.
Let's hope this morale check goes in Carlo's favour, or this
What's
could
the
be
base
game.
morale? What's
Base
the
morale
base
of
morale?
Warden is a 7, I believe. 6 even, isn't it? 6.
6, so it's gonna be 7+.
Up on screen now.
Yeah.
So 7+
See what
morale
happens
check.
here. So you reckon if this goes over, it's game over?
That's an 8. He's
and
fine.
he just passed it. He's just
That's
passed
an 8.
it.
I think you'll never be
He's
able to
still
convince
not
me
controlling the
otherwise.
point now because he's contested by the horses, right? This is probably the only time the horses are really going to have that much of a value in terms of contesting a unit sitting on an objective.
So this was a good play by Daryl. Rather than shooting and potentially not killing it, by charging, it means that even if he doesn't kill the unit can't control the objective now because the rank. So this was the right play.
Yeah.
Interesting. So Carlo's only going to go up to 8 points as it stands at the end of this round.
So Carlo's hovering over his hands at the moment. But let's see what his plan is.
He might have a
wanting
counter
to play
card.
Cactus card.
And yes, Terra. I think Stormcrows do have a place. I just don't think it's necessarily in any lists I can see or make up on the spot.
They're getting used a lot now, like Carlo said earlier, simply because they're a neutral option that's ranged and fairly cheap. I mean, you can get an attachment in there for free as well, the Stormcrow Lieutenant, so why not have them?
Well, the thing is, they're not free. Like, in the nicest possible sense, that attachment isn't free. The attachment is a requirement because the storm.
It looks like we're getting a
card.
A card, yeah. What a
Fire
friendly unit. One enemy unit which becomes panicked.
So this becomes panicked, and then ours is the Fury. After a friendly combat unit attacks, there's a different trigger. The unit may make a free melee attack against the attacker. He does control crowns, so he does roll their highest dice. Yeah.
So who's gonna choose to attack?
So he attacks the.
It's
It's the wardens over here.
Oh,
it's in relation to that end of that.
Okay.
So so Warden's rolling 7 dice on 4s. Oh, 3 misses, 5 hits. 5 hits is okay. No, that can't be right. The 1 was not rolled. So 5 hits against these guys. And they are panicked as well. So this panic check could be really good afterwards. They're saving on 4s, aren't they? No, 5s. So 4 dead, 4 wounds, which is that's enough for a rank.
Yeah.
Come off in a randomly weird order.
Daryl has managed to completely break that tray.
He has. Makes you hate the Dothraki Outriders more. Yeah. So going back to the Stormcrow discussion, Stormcrows aren't worth 6. They're a 5-point unit, but they cost 6 because they come with a free attachment. If you don't take an attachment in the Stormcrows, you should always do that. If you don't, I think you're paying literally out of your way for a bad unit. If you're buying the unit for 5 points and then spending the 1 on the attachment, that's okay.
So Tara just says, makes me hate the Dothraki Outriders anymore. So what do you hate about Dothraki Outriders? Because they are, for all intents and purposes, very good.
Just about. So that's a pass. Look at this panic check on 10 there. It's another pass panic check. He has got the panicked, but...
So no melee, but I mean, if you think about it, the Stormcrows are doing the same thing, and generally if they're in melee, they're dying anyway.
Yes, but not being able to charge and contest.
they can still charge. So if you charge, if in this situation you could have, let's say this is round 6 and you were against the Sentinels, you could still charge. You just couldn't make an attack. So you could still contest the unit.
That's an interesting mechanic. You say that they can charge and contest, but don't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't particularly use them for that option. They would be better suited to bounce around and harass units from the side. Because if you think about it, with the Outriders specifically, there's no reason you should ever get anything but a side shot off. And then you're at 9 inches away against most infantry. That's going to be a 4+. They're very good. If you think about what kind of impact they have on the entire battlefield, they are, for what they do, very good.
Yeah.
Probably the best target unit so far, right, Mickey?
I mean, I like them. I like the lower point units.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the first time I played you with the Targaryens, you said Outriders are the best unit.
Yeah.
Oh, the one you see most use out of, and that was literally week 1.
And the reason they're the most useful unit, and it's if it's not the Outriders, it'll be the Screamers next, because they're the cheapest.
Yeah.
Cheap units will see play, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's some interesting stats coming out about Targs later on, which we'll get to later on when we do stats talk and stuff, which won't be today, but when the tournament really opens up and stats gets released. In fact, Carlo's going on Small Council Radio tonight with some stats, and he will be doing some reveals there. There's also rumours of a special guest on Small Council Radio. We don't know who it is, so watch out for that. Could be quite important. Scott, what do you think of what's happening now?
So what is happening now? I've just seen an attack go off from the Baratheons. Is that a Relore against the conscripts, or is that Stormcrows against the conscripts?
I believe it's probably the Stormcrows.
Well, it's got to be Stormcrows because the Relore's activated, right? So
yeah. That's again
conscripts
a
have just
9.
lost. Yeah, they've just lost a lot, but that's incredible that he's managed to.
I think that's a failed panic check though in this case, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's not.
Passed.
+1 -2, so it's
yeah,
it's +1,
which is
it's gonna be a 9.
Passed on 9. This isn't looking good for Carlo, and let's be honest, it's not been looking good for Carlo. Not because Carlo's not been making what we look at and see as the right plays. I think Carlo did the right thing there, but then what do you do when a conscript unit rolls high morale? The real pudding now, or icing on the cake really, is the Relore unit having to make its panic check for being shot at in combat with another unit.
Yeah, but again, it hasn't really got that much use now, right? So it just means that if they're attack with melee, the attacker suffers a panic test -1 for each remaining rank. Yeah, so it's potential of what, going to be in a -2 or -1?
Yeah, but I mean, the key here is if the Relore unit dies, the Stormcrows get another shot because they're Relore.
But it's only the Stormcrow, isn't it? The Stormcrow is not going to have enough of a punch to really make that much of an impact from that.
Probably not.
Usage.
But saying that,
and that's again assuming it gets. Well, I'm assuming this is going to die this turn, so it's probably going to be this shot, isn't it? But let's see what happens. I mean, if it looks like it's going to be a case of the Relore going to die, so are the conscripts, and there's going to be 2 units potentially sat on.
The conscripts aren't worth a point, of course.
Exactly. So it's going to be Daryl's trackers that are going to dictate this game if those 2 units die. Oh, it looks like we have a
the charge on a 5. Let's catch up with chat. What we've been saying.
So I think that's going to be 5 dice or 6 dice. Rerolling. So far we've got 3 hits. That's not enough really to kill.
Probably not enough to kill these. No.
4, and that's going to be Sunring, so it's going to be 4 6+ saves.
It is, but then you'd hope they pass the morale. So that's the key here. Ooh, there's 2 saves. So only 2 dead.
Yeah.
And that does move them into morale death radius. They can die from this morale check.
They can.
Question is,
Have
do they?
They got a face token on them?
They don't. That's a pass. That's a pass on the
pass.
morale check. He did roll the 3, so it would have died if it was a fail, but that is the pass. So he passes over the dice to straight, and we see a morale check happening the other side. There's 3 dead Swarm Brothers! And the key here with the Bolton Flayer getting those 2 guys back on, so the Relore go back up to 2 ranks. This is a clutch moment. Like what we're seeing here is 2 very important things happening. This melee and combat here, and this is already over for this turn. Should that have 2-3 units in it? I don't think it should it? I don't know. I'm going to ask them about that.
Work 2 units.
I'll ask her when we get to later on. Because these guys didn't heal up after taking the 3, did they?
No.
No.
Also, it looks like Carlo's Stormcrows are currently levitating off the field, so they are actually covering that point. I didn't think they were from my perspective, but they're covering that point still.
They are, yeah, they are. Look at that. Terra, I know you don't think Stormcrows are particularly good, but they can levitate.
Yeah, Tracker, he's right. The basis bug, the Tracker has 2 horses.
Yes, it should have 2 horses. That model then is deleting. This is what happens when you leave people who don't know what they're doing, playing the game. So Daryl is sometimes quite funny. Daryl can be quite technophobe.
It's funny. Daryl has never been a technophobe until he had a kid, and he only had a kid about 2 months ago. So was it 2 months ago? 3 months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. He before that he was totally fine, but all of a sudden has a child, can't use a mobile phone.
So what we see here is interesting thing here. This Relore unit is going to retreat.
Is it?
Based on Melisandre doing the horses. This is clever. Okay, so this negates. This unit can't die now because the trackers are out of range, right? Or
yeah.
The hunters, sorry. The hunters are out of range.
Yeah.
They can't chase this unit easily.
So he's gonna have to pivot in such a way that he's not 1 inch away, though, right?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's made
That's
it in.
not quite right. He needs to do 1 more pivot. He needs to do a fine pivot to push that.
Yeah. Okay.
So that distance there. It's a shame I can't measure them. But the conscripts are now pivot.
Now, yeah, Daryl now has to pivot in a way that he doesn't go 1 inch over, right? So
that again is fine.
yeah. Okay.
Interesting. So at the end of this round,
yeah,
Carlo goes to 9 points.
Yeah, and that's great as well because he's going to nullify any of the potential death from the hunters. That was a great play.
That was the right play.
It's lucky he scored as high as he did on that dice. Otherwise, he would have been in a bit more of a precarious situation.
Levitation. They still suck all. They're stuck all over his water. Yeah, so they might levitate, but they're still terrible. Yeah, so if any of you watching thinking, what's this weird arc thing on here? It's a little bug. Sometimes if you charge collide when the attack arc is there, the attack arc actually stays after. So if you're noticing this in your own games on TTS, just make sure you only have one one of these arcs, or you can see the movement inches here. Only have one of those active at any one time. It will help clear up the kind of like residual spam that you get from the kind of markers. So yeah, we see a shuffle there from Alistair Thorne across.
Yeah. So at the end of this turn, it's going to be 9-9-6.
9-5.
Oh, we're getting a card. We're getting a card. Stack resilience.
We saw D3
enemy.
plus 1 wounds.
That's good.
Yeah. So
he controls the thing, so he's going to make them weakened. He controls the envelope.
He gets 3 wounds back, which unfortunately is not enough to get that second rank. He really needs to roll that 3 there. But he does make the envelope 3 wounds happen to an enemy. So this Ranger Tracker only has 3 wounds left. Can 4 Wardens take out a Gurk on a horse? They've got 3 dice when they attack.
So he's playing Relore's Wrath. Friendly engaged commune makes a melee attack plus 2 attack dice. If it's a Relore unit, which is not also against Sundering.
That's not great. He needed 4s, he got 2.
Ooh, he's going to save
4
one
and
on that as well.
6. So that's 1 wound. That is 1 wound. If Daryl fails this morale check, the unit dies. That's pretty
That's
good
not
though.
going to fail.
A panic check. He's a panic. He's got a panic token. Panic has
Oh.
been used. So we're going to see these rerolled. That's a fail.
Undead.
That's a fail.
That's undead.
And that puts him on 8 points. And more importantly, so we've seen, and now as watch has ended, remove 1 activation token from a friendly unit or remove a friendly NCU from the tactics board. So here's an interesting question. What would you do? You can remove an activation. The enemy wins at the end of the turn unless you take an objective off of them.
He can't. He's silver, isn't it? He can't. There's nothing he can do.
There is. It's risky, but it's the only thing he can do. The conscripts, I think, might be
They've
able.
activated.
But he gets to the. And now his watch is ended. Remove an activation token.
Has he played it?
He has played it. You can see it there.
He has played it. Okay.
So who does he remove?
Is he gonna go big moves with? Oh,
Yeah.
no, you
So
concept, you're right.
the correct thing to do would be to charge the conscripts into the Stormcrow archers.
And hope that you contest the ranks.
Yes,
Okay.
because
We're gonna have 2 floating things now. Oh no, it's worked fine.
you're on a flank attack. You know, this is it. It's a flank attack against a Stormcrow unit.
And if he surges forth backwards, or he can surge forth and cover that point again, which is going to put him up by.
And he's not going to
another
kill
2
him. He's
points.
not going to kill him.
Oh yeah, I mean,
That's a good hit. It's a good hit to start us off with. That's 4 hits. So it's 4 hits. It's 6 armor save. You know, the Stormcrow archers on 5s, but with the flank attack 6s. Oh, 2 saves. I think that might be game.
yeah.
We see what the panic check. Let's see the panic check. It is a -1 panic check, and I think he's outside 7. He's within 6, so it's a -2 panic check.
He's gonna contest because he's equal ranks now, right? So
You have to
it's
be
not
more.
over 2 yet.
That's a fail. And he
That
loses
is a
3.
fail.
Loses 3, and he goes down to run 1 rank. So this game will continue into the next round unless Carlo does something special with his 1 card. He also forgot to do the regen, correct? He should have had 3 more.
Mhm.
Good point. Yeah, Terra, the dice do taketh and they do giveth away, but we are playing on a knife edge here in this game. We really are. So you should have rolled how many more dice? 3 more
He
dice.
should have got 3. He should have had 3 more dice. Yeah.
Actually, no, because he did roll this. Oh yeah, yeah. Roll these 3. See how many
Yeah,
more wounds he
roll
does.
3. You see, I help Daryl out, whereas Daryl doesn't help me out in games.
So two more
Okay, that's
armor
another
saves on
2
this
more.
unit. 1 more save. So you'd feel that that morale check still would have been at the crutch.
Yeah, I mean, it could have potentially ended the game and won it for Daryl there, rather than it being a complete swing to Carlo's way. It's still a close game.
So
The
this
next round is
game,
going to decide it.
this game has seen like the hunters over here, sorry, the trackers over here, kind of died, and that won the game for Carlo in that play, meaning that this was the only play that he could make to try and not end the game right now, and it has worked. So we're on 9-5. It's heading towards a Baratheon win. The onus is on the Night's Watch player to end the game and do something now. But,
Is it Carlo to go first?
I think it is Carlo to go first on this turn.
So I'm assuming Carlo will take the charge for the first turn and go for the Swarm Bros. And that'll win him the game, because he's only got to get that 1 wound.
And it's unlikely that Daryl can score 5 points to contest and make it a draw and go into the 3rd or the 6th round. Yeah, it's unlikely. I'd agree.
So let's see what happens. There's no way Carlo can fail that charge. It'll just be disorderly. Oh, what's happening here?
So Carlo does control the objective. He doesn't. This one here, when you score points. So you don't score points from it. Okay. I don't really know what they're thinking now. They're clearly just talking. We'll see how this goes. So
we haven't seen a single counter charge this entire game from the Barras, have we?
no. Now,
Interesting.
if I was Baratheons and I was going first,
Did Carlo go first or did Daryl go first?
in the first turn,
Mm-hmm. I feel like Daryl went first, you know.
I feel like Daryl went first. Daryl's going first
Oh,
again.
they're doing something. Oh, that's a charge. I'm assuming that means.
Yeah, so Carlo's going first this turn.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This could be game. And statistically, will be game.
So the question is not now, does Carlo win? The question is by
Mechanics.
how badly does Daryl lose? Right?
I mean, if he kills his gene, it's just going to be a 10-5, isn't it? So.
Well, as it stands, it doesn't end. Remember, immediately.
I thought it ends when
No.
you hit 10.
No.
Does it not?
It ends at the end of the turn.
Really?
Yeah.
We've been playing that wrong for a very long time.
No, it's just easier to end it straight away.
Yeah.
All pictory points. You'll notice the slight error on the Game of Thrones card there. All pictory points are scored simultaneously. After a pair of swords, when you score points, affects an alternative. So
Carlo wins. Looks like Daryl has dropped out. Carlo has won. It's going to be a 10-5.
Carlo wins, yeah. So he's decided to call it. That unit's dead, and there is no way that he can score 5 victory points. I'm a bit disappointed in Daryl here, because I think if he held on to his objective here and he potentially killed the Stormcrow archers, the net victory points is reduced to 4. And if it's a 4 difference, that's a slightly better loss for you.
This is a crushing victory for Carlo then, right?
Yeah, it is a crushing victory at 5 points. Maximum tournament points. So it would be in Daryl's interest to charge. It would be in Daryl's interest to kill the Stormcrows for a point, because that would mean it's only a 4-point victory, assuming nothing else happens. And a 4-point victory would actually be worth more to Daryl.
Looks like
the tournament.
They're playing a different scenario, or I don't know what they're doing.
Well, he's done the Surge 4th there. He's retreated back with the Surge 4th.
Okay.
Looks like Carlo's explained to him like the way that tournaments work. Even if you've lost, it is completely within your benefit to continue to play the game. It is never a good thing to leave a game early. Leaving a game early, capitulating, giving up, automatically in tournament rules makes it a crushing victory. That's a difference of 5 points, or as if you eliminate all enemies, it's still the same thing, a crushing victory. In a tournament,
So Daryl's making an attack now.
Daryl has a chance to make this not a crushing victory for Carlo, so he should take that opportunity to try and negate Carlo's victory points.
It's going to be 3 hits on the conscripts.
3 hits, and that's 3 dead.
It's going to be enough to take it out. Yeah.
Yeah, so straight away we see him go up to 6.
Yeah.
It's unlikely that Carlo is going to do enough anyway, to get the extra victory point. Conscripts aren't worth anything, so it doesn't matter if they die. He's got a Surge 4th now. Actually,
should he bother going forward?
No, come back. Come back onto the 2-point objective in the middle.
Yeah, it looks like he is.
No, he's going to go forward.
Well, no. Oh,
He's going forward.
Okay.
The right play there was actually to go back. I mean, I guess he was hoping, because that was a swords. I guess he's hoping to actually come onto this unit and kill that one as well.
I wonder if he's just testing this.
Bearing in mind, if he kills the wardens, I'm not saying he will. They've just been healed up, so it's unlikely now. If he did kill the wardens, and then the hunters in the middle of the field here took the 2-point objective, that's a 4 objective point swing, and it would go 10-10. The game would continue into the 6th round.
Yeah.
Like, can you see? You know, it's worth noting. 2 seconds ago you were saying Carlo's won the game. It's 10-5. It is fully possible in this game for Daryl to draw the game and go into turn 6.
Yeah.
This just proves to
Oh,
people.
it's a charge.
It is a charge, yeah.
3, and it's going in.
So he's done the charge. This is what he needs to do. Again, I'll say it. Don't give up. Song of Ice and Fire can be won even when you're 10-5 down. I mean, I agree with you. Terry. It's unlikely that these guys are going to kill the Wardens.
He has to kill these, and
so that's not a great roll.
Oh no, actually he could if he fails 3 saves.
3 saves and then fails the morale, but this is like big dice roll times. Yeah, so he saved 2.
Yep.
I mean, it's not over. There's a panic check still to come out. 3 dead.
Ooh. Yeah.
So that's 4 dead in total from the attack. There's a panic check to come out from Crowns still. That can kill 3.
I bet Carlo's wishing he used that.
I think.
Is there any way? There's no way because you can't surge 4th. You'd have to have surged 4th onto the point, right?
Correct, but he's on a point now, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's on a point now.
Yeah, he actually controls it as well, right?
And Carlo doesn't control his. I think this is a massive misplay from Carlo. I don't understand the letters take. Letters is a mistake because letters doesn't confer Carlo any benefits.
If Daryl puts that caster onto the horses and gets that unit onto the center point,
he doesn't need to. The hunters still haven't activated this turn.
but he wouldn't have enough. Surely the distance is not enough to get him onto that center point.
I don't know. They're movement 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are movement 6.
But with the horses, he definitely does.
So this is.
And he has taken the horses.
This is a good question. If he takes horses, he can get to here, and potentially have a shot at controlling it.
I think Carlo is measuring to see if whether or not the Ranger Hunters could get a distance in to get a charge off.
Okay, so there's an option. Right. This is squeaky bum time. Daryl should come up the palisades towards the objectives. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then from the actual activation, so rather than panic bombing this unit, which I think is a better play, what he can do, he can move up to where the objective is, and then have a second activation where he moves forward and take a shot at the wardens, potentially killing the wardens while controlling the center objective. That is how he wins this game.
Yeah. Or can he do that? Because it has to be 6 inches away, right? Because of the short range.
That's a good question. Probably not.
Oh, looks like he's making a move.
I mean,
he won't be able to get.
He can pivot. He can pivot back onto it if he's careful. I think he can do this so he can pivot onto it.
Yeah.
Because he got 6 inches. Ooh, it's not looking too great.
Ooh.
But he doesn't need to get onto it with this move, as we've established.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I pivot again. One more potentially.
It'll activate Melisandre. Yes, that is true. And
this is why I personally would have taken the.
What's he running D3 for? 3 back.
I didn't see the card. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Stagger's Resilience. Okay, so yeah, it was a misplay to take the horses for Craster. The thing that he should have done is taken the Crown Bomb and tried to Crown Bomb
Yeah,
the unit.
try and take it out. Yeah.
This is now. I don't see a way out now, unless these Ranger Hunters do something incredible. I don't see how this works.
Yeah.
And there's two morale checks coming in on a Melisandre Panic Bomb, on potentially the Hunters. You ignore the conscripts, it's a waste of time. Mind you, you'd more likely kill the conscripts, I guess. Yeah.
It's going to be 5 dice. 4 hits.
4 hits.
They're 3+, aren't they? Yeah.
3 hits.
Oh no. That was only running 3.
That's 3 dead, isn't it? Yeah, 5 plus.
And now Carlo controls it.
And more importantly, it's a panic check at minus. It's a panic check at -1, and there's a panic token.
Yeah.
That's a pass. Wow.
But he's panicked. He's going to make those reroll, and this could be it.
8. That's a fail. It's a -1 check,
fail.
and there's 8 morale. That's dead. Well, that's definitely game now. That doesn't convert any victory points, but he's no longer contesting the board.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's probably no way that he can realistically finish off any units.
No. Especially with Carlos now moved back. That's GG.
Yep. We'll do the giveaway in a minute. I think we've only got 2 people in with the giveaway. It was... I'll find his name in a second. Sir Baelish, that's right. And it was Duggars, wasn't it, I think? Yeah. Last chance call for anyone who wants to get into the giveaway. I believe we've got Baelish and Duggars in. Just remind me, type in chat. What are we saying? Type in chat again? Remind me.
Give me.
Yeah, gimme. Type gimme in chat,
gimme.
and we'll get you this copy of TTS in the next couple of minutes, probably. The game is about to finish. It'll activate Melisandre, though. It did indeed. Are we actually going to see a potential wipe here?
So is Carlo going to go for it? Is Carlo going
of course he will. Of course he will. You go for the wipe. He's only winning 10-6 at the moment, and at the end of the turn that will be different. His best opportunity is to try and panic bomb and kill the unit. Then it's a complete destruction, and it is a wipeout.
Mm-hmm.
I think a big misplay not going for that -1 panic test.
Yeah.
For Craster.
What I've put the wardens on 8+.
Yeah. He needed to roll a 2 or a 3 because there were. Yeah. Oh no, was it a 4? There were 4 of them, right? Or 3 of them. I can't remember. But it was an option. Whereas, I think allowing time didn't win it for him. That's a 9. I think that's probably pretty good, isn't it? They're on the +1 anyway.
Oh, he's panicked though.
Panicked. A 9 again.
Yeah, that's gonna be a pass save.
That's a -3 check, and that's actually passes with that 9 because they're on 6.
Yeah.
That's game. I mean, there's another -1 check from Melisandre here. Technically.
See if he wants to do it. Well, he's gonna want to do it. Let's see what. Oh, he didn't roll. I'm gonna assume that's just Daryl rage quitting then.
Daryl rage
Everyone
quit.
saw that on stream, right? Everyone saw that.
Salah Shasaka. I can't even say his name now. Salah.
I think Daryl's
Shaska.
disconnected.
Has disconnected.
Oh, Daryl's disconnected. He did pass. Yeah.
His internet dropped. Wow. You did pass the test. Yeah. Table flip. Have you got another morale test to do, Carlo?
I guess, but it can't kill him, right?
You can't.
That's
kill him.
after he rerolled. Yeah, did he
Yeah,
reroll?
yeah, he did reroll.
Yeah, he rerolled. That was 9.
Yeah, cool. Then it doesn't kill him. He can take. I could roll it for him. He takes another test, and
that's a minus. That's passes on the -1 +1.
passes. Yeah, 3 passes.
So he passes all the tests.
Yeah.
Game over.
It's not just me, right? He has passed like every morale test. Yeah.
Yep.
Every single one. All game at 10 plus. Woo. Yeah.
So once
it's
he
gonna
gets
be,
once he gets
so it's gonna
back
be a
in,
minor victory because of that. He's gonna score
2.
2v.
Yeah.
He's
2
gonna score
VP,
2.
so
He
go
does have
sunset.
to take another morale test at the end of the game, but he can't die now.
Yeah, it's actually irrelevant after the point, isn't it? Because it's because you score victory points before before victory condition, and then you do
but
the
he scored
effects.
the point, but then if he lost his last
True.
unit, he would still count as being destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. Because you checked for victory
I
after that.
I score 11 and he scores 8.
Yeah, so the difference of 3.
Yeah.
It is the right decision not to attack me because I would countercharge him in the flank.
So I
Hello?
think you're right.
Hello.
You're right.
Yeah. So
There we go.
let's talk
You
about
managed-
that.
Pass all 4 of your tests in a row.
Cool.
I think from an
So-
observer's perspective, Daryl, there was one
Mhm.
thing you missed, and I don't know if you considered it.
No, so we let's do players
Go on.
thoughts first before. So my huge major mistake was the fact that I wedged the conscripts instead of putting the conscripts on the one to deactivate Melisandre, and I left the
Yep.
hunter as an 8-point unit doing nothing most of the game, basically.
Everyone
we literally
in
said that
chat.
as soon as you deployed it. We were like,
So
oh.
as soon as I did it, I was just like, fuck. Look,
See,
so
what I
I,
actually thought
no,
you were
no,
gonna
so
do-
I actually hold on. So I actually had the card in my hand to get the free maneuver afterwards, after the unit had been attacked, but I used it on the Ranger Hunters instead, which I don't know why I did. You know, the one that lets them make a free maneuver after someone's been attacked.
Yeah.
So I was going to slot them in after that. I understand that I made a mistake, but this is probably, what is it, the 3rd time I played Night's Watch?
Second, isn't it?
Third.
Third.
I think it was a bad move because I thought you were going to be aggressive and move up. I thought you were going to move forward and then just have the conscripts take the position behind, similar to the way I did. I moved up and then I just put the archers in behind, and I thought you were just going to sit there with the conscripts, rather than you ended up in the end sending the conscripts in because you never wanted to take them off. And I was sat there waiting for that. I knew I would have a 1 activation window
Mhm.
in which I could activate Melisandre, but you always stayed. Which I think, to be honest, in the end, it seemed like the right choice. Like, I was surprised by it. It wasn't what I would have done, but in the end, it ended up being quite a difficult situation for me that I didn't particularly like.
Second huge mistake that I made, and Carlo knew exactly what I was doing, was I charged the horses in with melee instead of taking the extra dice for the ranged attack. But it's because I had Pathetic Attempt in hand, but I didn't realise he had so many Stag's Resilience in hand, so obviously he healed up, and he managed to kill a rank both times because of the stag. Although, because of the Stag's Resilience. So that's what really sausages, because if my plan had worked out, I would have got the point for killing that unit. I would have been able to surge forth onto the point, and that would have been me with a 2-point advantage. And that would have really balanced the scores. I mean, I don't think I've done too badly. What did it end on? 11-8?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I did too badly.
It swung. I mean, from a spectator's standpoint, it swung quite heavily at the very start. When we called you back at the end of round 3, me and Mickey were like, Daryl is so far behind here, and he's so on the back foot. Carlo has this game in hand, and then it was between turn 4 and turn 5 when those concepts came in and got that kill. We were like, holy crap, he's actually managed to get us around.
The huge thing was that I failed the 2+ charge, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And then the 2+1.
Like exposed, like I couldn't believe that I survived the turn after I failed that 2+ charge, and then it continued to bleed away from me because the conscripts passed 4, 8+, 9+, and 10+ morales in a row. When I just needed the Bolton Flare to start give me some value. I just needed the Bolton Flare to make sure that I stayed topped up. I kept throwing attacks at them, kept throwing morale checks at them, and they took 4 tests in a row and passed every one. So I missed out on I think I was hoping to get somewhere around 6 wounds back, and instead I got none.
The weekend roll that you did on those Swarm Bros as well really saved you bacon.
Yeah,
like hugely, going from 14 hits.
Funny enough, that weekend token was the very first action of the whole game. I took letters and put a weekend on them and it just stayed there, and then eventually it came up good.
Yeah. Oh well, cool. Thanks for the game, Carlo. I enjoyed it. It's
Yeah, it was really,
it was-
really good.
It was close, man. It was close. I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit more, instead of just playing like a lunatic. I play like actually trying to.
So
Quest-
Mickey had a point. This is probably what Mickey's going to ask right now. But the
Yeah.
very last play, where you picked, was it the horses to move the conscripts?
No, I moved the people, the hunters onto the 2-point zone.
Yeah. So the hunters on the 2-point zone. So Mickey, do you want to go through what you thought would
So
be
he
a better
thought,
play?
go on.
Well, no, I'm interested. Did you consider taking the crowns?
Yes and no, mainly because I wouldn't be able to do enough damage to kill the unit that I needed to kill.
So the wardens would have died to the panic if they failed and rolled badly. That was the only.
But that's a huge maybe. Whereas I could guarantee 2 points, and if this was a tournament, and I was trying to play in like the tournament sense, I would want every VP that I could get. And I think relying on a 7+ morale, no 8+ morale maybe, but
With the -1 and the corpse power, yeah.
so that's 8+, yeah. Relying on an 8+ when he's been passing a lot of morale tests. I know you failed a couple, but you've been rolling plenty of.
Roll a 2, or do I even possibly have to roll a 3? I think it's a 2.
You do have to. You do have to roll
I
a.
think I had 3 wounds at the time.
You do have to roll a
3,
2.
but when you panic,
You're also panicked, yeah. Like, I really like those odds.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were vulnerable and panicked, weren't you?
So you could have potentially won at that point, but as soon as
No, he wasn't. He wasn't vulnerable and panicked because I took that space before he took his action with them, and I played the Alistair card on them after they took their action.
Okay.
Right, okay.
I mean, even so, if you'd hit that 3 roll and Carlo had failed his panic check, that
So
would have.
I'm relying on a poor morale roll, and well, Carlo,
Well,
just roll
average.
it now, right? Go on. So just roll an 8+ morale with the D3, and see what we get.
No, I was just interested because I didn't know if you'd considered it.
No, I hadn't, to be honest with you. I was
That's
just
fine.
thinking
Work
about
up the odds rather than having
damage
somebody
control.
roll. You know, the odds are that you got.
The odds are that you would actually
50%
succeed it.
chance that I fail, and then you've only got a 2 in 3 chance that gets you enough dice, enough kills. So you're looking below 40% chance.
Probably about 30%.
I like Dan's suggestion. Taking it as
Yeah, that would have worked.
But
what was the chances, you reckon?
It was
about 40%.
About 40%.
About 40.
Yeah, so fuck that.
So
Language.
You would have still had the action, would you
It's
not?
after the watershed.
Be able to take this objective afterwards, I think.
What did you roll?
What did I just roll? I would have died.
No, never in the world.
What difference does it make?
but the thing is, you didn't.
Hindsight,
Yeah.
you make the decision based on what's in front of you, not like
Exactly.
when it's easy to say once I rolled that it was the better choice, but like
I tell you what, that's a good. That is a good example of what you were saying, which I've never really experienced before, but not really having the visual awareness of what's there because it's harder to see everything.
Yeah.
When you run TTS, that's the first time I've ever experienced it, but I can kind of see
I
what you
rushed
mean
a
now.
lot of things on the last turn. I didn't actually know that you still had an NCU left to play. I thought you had played all your NCUs.
There was
So
beautiful subtlety.
I don't know. I was just throwing things around on the last turn.
The problem is though, so you killed off the conscripts. I forgot I had the Alistair's card that would have given you -2 dice. In my hand as well, so I could have used that before you had an attack with them, and
you forget lots of little things. I forgot that you were weakened for the charge, which possibly would have meant that you wouldn't have scored any wins, and I wouldn't have taken a panic check at all.
It's all about
it's about focus and concentration when you're playing on TTS, and just it's much easier when you know your faction well because you're not having to learn things. You're not having to learn things at the same time as question whether or not you have enough focus.
Yeah.
So Sir Baelish in the chat is saying that you can't overrun the VP threshold, so that you're and max 10 victory points for 40 points, so it would have been over at the start. Carlo, do you want to explain to why you overplayed?
because you can win a game 11-8 start. I don't have the rule book in front of me, but you can. I'm pretty sure. But also, just because the margin of victory always matters, in my opinion, I guess is my answer. I feel like I'm really gonna have to read the rulebook now. I'm pretty adamant that you can overrun. If you consider it a tournament-based setting game, you can definitely overscore, and the round doesn't finish until the end of the round. It's not over as soon as somebody scores 10 points.
It's only over when you get tabled.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess that's the game. We have 2 people that are currently in the draw. We've got Sir Bellish and we've got Duggars. Mickey,
hold
once
on.
your stream picks up again, you may want to roll a dice.
So who's on the who's still on the screen? Carlo.
Carlo's on the stream, but the stream is currently going crazy at the moment.
That's
It's
all right.
fine on mine. Yeah, it's fine on mine. So somebody just use the plus sign next to backspace and turn dice absolutely ginormous. And hold on, we've got a third one. We've got Tom Tyler as well.
Tom Tyler as well. Okay.
So we've got Duggars on a 1 or a 2, Baelish on a 3 and a 4.
D3. Yeah.
Make it big.
No. Just all right. Okay. So one's Duggars, 2's Baelish, 3's Tommy Tyler. Just make the D3 absolutely enormous and roll it in the middle of the screen.
I'm gonna delete this unit.
I'm sure you guys were deleting dice in the middle of that game, like.
That's a 1.
That's 1.
I started off with like 20. That's a 1. Okay, that's that was Duggars, wasn't it?
I think so. It's Duggars.
It was Duggars, Baelish, because it's the list. It's how they appear in my chat. So Duggars, Baelish, and Tyler. So that's
There you go. Big old 1.
Awesome. So Duggars, if you go to Facebook, type @nrealms if you don't already follow the Facebook page. Just follow on there. Send her a message. Just say it's you, and send your Steam email. Yeah, and I'll do it. Yeah, Terra got the last key, and he is looking to learn as well. So yeah, just why don't we have a few games together and just try and a lot of the game you have to spend about half an hour or so just learning the controls, and then once you've done that, it's easy enough.
Yeah, and give the Discord a shout. Whether it's the League Discord or whether it's the main Song of Ice and Fire Discord, someone will be in there to teach you if you need to find out. Or just give us a shout.
Little bit of bookkeeping at the end. Thank you very much everyone for views. I think we had like 14, 15 views at one point, which is awesome for us. Like the Facebook, have a look at the YouTube stuff. I'm editing some YouTube stuff tomorrow, and there'll be stuff going up because Carlo wanted some feedback on it. And make sure you go over to A Song of Ice and Fire stats on the internet, register for that, and make sure that you put in your game results, because that's the way we're basing all of our. So Mickey is primarily responsible for a lot of the stats posts at the moment, and he's really digging deep into the stats that we're getting. And giving the community information about what's being showed by the numbers. It's not opinion, it's fact as far as the numbers show. So make sure you like them. They've got a group on Facebook, a page on Facebook, sorry, and register for the site. Lastly but not leastly, I know you're probably sick of everyone saying it, and every streamer that you watch says it, but if you have got Amazon Prime and you don't use your free Twitch Prime sub, just link your Amazon to Twitch. You'll get a free sub every month, and it would really, really help us out. So it costs you absolutely nothing. It's already included in what you get with your Amazon Prime package, and it helps us get more viewers. There's a very small, little bit of money that you get from it. It's pennies, but I've forked thousands of pounds out on equipment for the live games that were filmed. So I'm trying to recoup that. It helps gain a bit of visibility for us. Same with the YouTube videos, actually. So Scott pointed out that a lot of our YouTube videos aren't really that visible for searchers, and one of the best ways to make them more visible is to watch them, like them, and put a comment in, and that'll make them more visible in searches. So thank you very much for watching.
Do you want to give any more shout-outs, Carlo? Do you want to just say anything about stats? Do you want to say stuff about?
Yes, so the Northern Realm Games TTS Tournament League, 64 players, it's full. All the tournaments are locked in and they're going to get revealed tonight. And if you check out one of our sponsors, Small Council Radio, myself and another guest are going to be appearing on that. And we'll be talking about basically pretty detailed stuff around what kind of entries we see, what kind of lists we see, and if there's any really strong trends in the kind of things that people are using in the meta, make some predictions on who's going to win, throw some things around, and yeah, check them out because they've sponsored the tournament, being a real big help, and they're good content creators. So that's Small Council Radio.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Thanks a lot, guys. That's us off now. Take care. See you soon.
See you later,
Cheers.
guys.